Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. So let's jump right into it. Let's do some Weird Job.
All right, buddy. It is Weird Job Wednesday time again. Oh my God, I knew it.
Yeah.
Left up my jazz. Okay, hold on. Misplaced my jazz. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Florida. StreamlineFlorida.com. Talk to Brian Zymel and his team if you want to refi or get your mortgage. I did it. Daniel did it twice. All of our friends and family we know have done it.
I might do it 3 times.
Yeah, it's the best business decision to do for your life.
Yeah, it really is. Because buying a home, probably your largest purchase.
Yeah, and refining when you can get a better mortgage rate or, take some money, pay some credit cards off,
Yeah. Or be irresponsible. Like that.
Get a boat.
That's kind of the part of this commercial that I hate is you always
live
say,
your life.
You always say take some money out and you always, take some money
your
out
money
while
and
you
you
can.
want it now.
Yeah, take it out. If you want to put it directly up your nose, I'm okay with it.
Not our business.
It's not. It really
Yeah.
isn't my business. I live better that way. Now I am going to think that maybe that's irresponsible for you to do for your family, but there's another side of me that says, boy, that would be fun to put all that money right at my nose.
Also, maybe redo your house because you may want to move and there's no need to. Because
there you go again.
Well, making your house better may be better than moving to a new. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just destroy your house and then use the money to rent.
Yeah.
Or keep redoing your house every year like Tom.
No, I'm saying refi your
change.
house. Refi your house. Take money out of it. Use that as your party house, right? And just destroy the inside of it, like stab the ceiling, everything. But then use the money you took out to rent for a small amount of time until eventually that nest egg gets whittled down and goes away.
Yeah.
Then you're on the streets.
Yeah. Taylor's on the line. How you doing, Taylor?
Hey, good. How's it going, guys?
Good. Sorry to make you wait so long.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh,
We
yeah.
forgot you were here. We went to breakfast. We came
you're
back.
good.
We came back from Waffle House, and you were still on the line.
So, Taylor, what is your weird job?
So I'm a mobile bartender. So I own a mobile bar service business.
All right.
Mobile bartender, a bartender with legs. I love it.
So,
Yes.
people just rent you out for parties?
Yes, pretty much. So private event bartender, kind of like there's people have private chefs and whatnot. So I do that with mixing drinks.
Okay.
That's really cool.
So, let me ask you a question.
Private bartender, though, does sound like it is the beard. It's basically like when you say, I'm in waste management. I think when you say, I'm a mobile bartender, everybody knows that you're pumping the MILFs, right? Like, everybody knows that your job is to make love to older, wealthy women. That's your job. That's the flip on this.
So, Taylor,
Like a pool guy.
I have a theory.
Even more so. I think even more than pool guy, because pool guy can run rough around the edges. You have to look pristine.
So, Taylor, I have a theory about wedding bartenders, and tell me if I'm correct.
Lot of tuxedo shirts.
It seems to me that every wedding I've been to that has an open bar where it's free drinks, right? I feel like the bartenders get less tips than when they have to pay for their drinks, which is
I disagree.
It seems crazy, but I think when it's free drinks, people, no one has cash, so then it's like you only have your credit card, so you're like, can you charge me for $1 so I can tip you?
Right.
And
No, I know
people
what you mean.
they don't, and there's a line behind them, so people just grab their drinks like, thank you, and then
It's also the only time that I see tiny little hard metal cans of pineapple juice. You never see that anywhere
Yeah,
else in the
yeah,
world.
that's
You
true.
only see it at open bars.
And it seems like if you have to pay for your drinks, you're tipping on every drink, and you're maybe tipping more than you should have. It just seems to me that the free drinks, the bartenders get less tips.
I tip more when it's pay for drink. Like if I go up and it's like, or tickets, even tickets, I'm more apt to, because there's an exchange. I'm with you. I think I'm more apt to, like, even the exchange of the ticket, I want to tuck $1. But if it's open bar, I'll do that move where I go up and then I pretend with my eyes to put money in the jar. But I don't. I let everybody else do it. And I just walk away really fast and hope he doesn't notice.
Nobody has cash. Like I'll definitely tip every single time, and a tip well if I have cash. I don't carry cash.
No.
So then if it's free drinks, then you're just like, well, can you run my card? But there's people waiting. So
We're
you're just
future people. We're digital boys. We don't carry cash.
So Taylor, am I right?
You are, for the most part, right, yes.
All right.
He loves.
say-
Thanks
I would
for
say-
listening.
He loves that you sat and listened to his entire. Like, this is the one thing you can't get out of his current relationship. He's never once said something to his wife and then had her go, for the most part, you're correct. Because you love that. You love that, didn't you?
Yeah. I love being right.
You love Taylor, don't you?
Yeah. I love you, Taylor.
Oh my God!
That's twice
Hold
in 2
on.
weeks.
Anybody who says I'm right.
He loves them.
Anyway, so why is that? It seems so stupid because is it just because the no cash thing?
Well, no, because I put QR codes on my tip jar, so there's no excuses for not tipping at this point.
Wait a
I have
minute.
my Cash
QR
App memo.
codes only became cool because of the pandemic. Everybody knows that. QR codes were about to die until we found the Wuhan flu.
Also,
I agree.
I don't know how to use a QR code tipper or whatever. I don't know what that
Tipper,
even
oh,
means.
God. I don't know how to use a QR code tipper.
How does that work?
Well, Pop, you just scan with your
No.
camera the QR code, and it brings up whichever app that you scan it for. So Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and it comes up immediately. Instead of a menu at a restaurant, like during COVID, it's whichever app you want to tip with.
That's pretty cool.
Gotcha. Well, all those that you mentioned, I've lost the passwords.
Yeah, I know. I've lost all mine too.
I
We're in the
can't-
same. We're finally in the same boat now.
Yeah. So it'd take me too long anyway.
I buy everything with PayPal. I don't know if it's the company's PayPal or my PayPal, but I buy everything with it.
So
Only when I got.
are you under different rules when it comes to over-serving people? Because it seems like at events,
Oh, maybe
Like-
he can make his own decision.
well, all you do is
Sovereign citizen.
like every wedding, everybody gets over-served, right?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the whole point of weddings,
yeah,
right?
how are you supposed to see somebody do the worm and crap their pants?
So, but you wouldn't do that. Like the businessman that walks up at the wedding, the drunk uncle that literally is blacked out.
Hey, give him 4 shots, Taylor.
Yeah.
There's 4 shots.
Like you wouldn't serve that guy at Applebee's, but you serve him at a wedding, and I feel like it's acceptable. Is there different etiquette?
For some people in my industry, they may feel comfortable doing that, but I have insurance, and I'm trained, like tip certified, a responsible vendor, all these things in which I sell to the client to show that we're not going to be that sloppy, irresponsible bartender that just gets everybody smash wasted.
So I'm curious too.
That's the difference between saying, like in the DJ world, that's the difference in somebody saying, like, oh, I could just get my iPod.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're
Right.
paying for the expertise. You're also paying for the myriad of recipes that he has in his brain of what to make, stuff like that.
So let's talk tips in general. Like at events, it seems like you get less tips than I'm sure you were a normal bartender at some point. Is that true, or do you make more money in tips in certain types of events?
Yeah, actually, you'd be surprised. So usually the higher end events, for the most part, there are some outliers, but the higher end events, less tips. Usually the most I've made has been in like a field somewhere where there's goats walking around me and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's
You want to be out there with the people because the people are getting drunk.
Yeah. And the people
Then they
that
get generous, yeah.
and the people that go to bars,
Rich people are stingy.
Yes,
That's why they're
They are.
rich.
Yeah, that's why they're rich.
They
Yep.
they get used to these events where it's all open bar,
Yeah, they
and
don't think about it.
and they
Right.
don't think about it, and they're
Entitled
And look,
bastards.
Yeah.
I've talked about this with NBA players for a long time. I think that most sports stars get a bad rap. I think most of us say like in the hospitality world, like in Taylor's world, I think most sports stars, negatively, it's like across the board, right? Of people like, was he a good tipper or a bad tipper? I'm just saying blanket statement. For the most part, people are going to be like, hey, you even tip me. I think that's because they're used to people handling it. I don't think it's because they wouldn't have. I think it's because they were walking out or their person said, you got to go over here or make this call or go over there. Tim Tebow, that night I saw him out at Disney in that restaurant, he wasn't tipping. He's sitting there with Urban Meyer. He was only there for that.
Yeah, he doesn't pull his wallet out.
No, he didn't do none of that. So,
although you should, I guess, get in the habit of just carrying around cash if you're a celebrity.
Or at least have your handler carry it.
Yeah, and just to leave so you don't get a bad reputation. But you're right. I mean, you know how many times, like, we've gone and done events and we had to get the hell out, like, fast, and then we didn't get to, like, tip the, whoever was, like, serving us at the time or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because we had to leave and, like, we're like, did someone pay that? Not that we're running out of tab, but it's, like, confusion. Yeah. There's too much going on. Anyway, I think half of it is that. So, Taylor, when you do one of these, like, private events, like,
they
what?
might ask you to keep your mouth shut or put this bird mask on.
Yeah. Like, is there any, like, event that you had to, like, sign a non-disclosure agreement or some sort of, you couldn't talk about it?
No, not yet. I imagine that eventually, but I get what you're alluding to. Nothing has been that insane as far as them knowing that's going to happen up front. Maybe they probably wish they did do that at a few events, but no, not yet. But I did start my business in the villages, so a good amount of my clientele is actually in the villages, and that's kind of what I'm speaking of. I see some crazy stuff.
Oh, so you
what have you seen out there?
Get to see those old ladies that wear the red, white, and blue cowboy hats and they're too old for their implants. So it starts to look weird, man. I'm all about them trying to hang on to it, and you do you, lady, but at some point I feel like your body's rejecting those things. Doesn't want them.
Yeah, and, like, I've never seen, like, you hear the swinger stories and whatnot. I've never seen firsthand, like, they're not just, like, going at it in the living room or anything in front of me. But no, there's definitely some swapping going on, though.
It's hard to mix a Tom Collins if that were happening, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like to have fun.
So, how does it work as far as, do you work for a company? You work for only yourself? Do you bring out the actual, like,
I hope
bar
you have
on
a
wheels?
cardboard tiki bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, too, is with the tipping, is you were talking about people who tip more at restaurants and bars. Well, that's true. I mean, people rely more on that at a bar or restaurant because they're getting paid $5 and change an hour. With my business, so it is my company. I do have several bartenders that work for me,
cool.
But it is my company, so we set a base rate and then add different packages and different options along with that.
Nice.
So how does it work as far as, do you give the person, if let's say it's an event and you're selling booze, do you offer them like a split or something, or did they make all the money and you pay some sort of base fee and the alcohol? How does that work?
Yeah, so that's like the number one question we get asked. It's like, oh, you have a liquor license? Like, how much do you sell the booze for? We're a bartending service, so we don't sell alcohol. We don't sell drinks. So at private events, they're all open bars. So the client who's the host of the party or the wedding or whatever it may be, they pay for everything. And I'm not going there and selling drinks. Now, the only time I've done cash bar a few times has been for nonprofit companies, and a couple times have been for comedy shows and just things that are like for nonprofit.
Gotcha.
Where they can do a cash bar and they handle the cash, and I'm providing the bartending service.
So when you're at an event and you're bartending, and do people ask for complicated ass drinks? Like, because I imagine you only have the ability to make, the certain staples, right? Like you make a screwdriver, rum and Coke, like, do they
I want a Wisconsin Bahama Mama. Hold the key lime puree.
Yeah. Because if you do that, you're a douchebag.
Yeah, you are.
You start asking for a complicated ass drink when there's a line of people.
I want a Short Island iced tea, and I hope you know what that is. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it depends. So there's different packages. Some people want just like quick and easy, just pour and go drinks like you're talking about, like single liquor drinks. but I offer different packages. So if they want some complicated menu with some signature drinks where I'm muddling this and infusing that, I'm more than happy to. It's just you're going to pay for it.
Butler's all about the muddling. Every cocktail he does on the
He
Friday
does do
Free
a lot
Show,
of
he's like,
muddling.
I gotta muddle some limes. He's like, they're stronger than I am.
By the way, I can tell no difference in whatever the hell extra effort you put in. I do not notice.
He's like,
You know.
Are you saying that to Taylor, or are you saying that to
Everybody.
Butler?
I'm
Oh.
saying everybody.
So,
And
so
yeah.
you are mad at like, because Taylor
I'm not
does-
mad at it. I'm just saying it's a waste of your life.
Because Taylor, okay.
God.
So Taylor is,
Yeah.
he could be put in the category of like leather apron, burning an orange rind.
Yeah.
You know, the zest of an orange being wafted.
Yeah. I just
Curly cues of lime zest.
I just want whatever percentage alcohol is in there to keep my feet from shaking.
Yeah,
Because,
exactly.
yeah.
How fast can you open them?
What's the craziest thing that you've seen? You ever seen a fight or anything?
Yeah.
Tell us something crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, and they were fighting, and like you said about do I bring a bar? Yeah, I do have mobile bars that I bring, and they're great, but they're portable. So they're if this dude was like 350-pound dude was like trying to fight this other guy, and they just like fall over my bar. And this is an event that was by a pool, where it was a pool party that was supposed to be like 25 people.
You're at
and there
Adam
was a-
Sandler's pool party. Chris Farley fell through your bar.
There was like 60 people there, and it was absolutely out of hand. I ran out of product, so they went back in the house like, we got this big bottle of Grey Goose, and then so I just ended up making Grey Goose and whatever other mixtures I had left.
Grey Goose and
yeah, I
milk.
got really frightened. So as I've been doing this, I've been tightening up like what my contract includes for liability reasons, because you can't cheat experience with this, and every day I learn something new.
You ever have any like MILFs try to pick you up, or
Yeah.
like you sound pretty young?
Oh yes, yes,
And you take advantage of them, right? And steal all their jewels.
oh, of course.
I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, some
I mean,
old lady whose implants her body's rejecting her implants, you go in there, all you got to do is give her
Yeah.
a couple of back rubs. Next thing you know, she falls asleep because she's on the propofol or whatever. You start digging through her jewelry, and then you find the safe combination, and then in there is the tiaras are in there,
Yeah.
and the scepters.
Do you ever the client wants you to party too? Because sometimes
Yeah, a shot for me and a shot
Yeah.
for her handsome mustache
Yeah.
Johnny here.
You ever get loaded at one of your events and then you know?
You have to walk your bar home.
No, I've not that I haven't toward the tail end had a couple with my clients. It's I find it's just best liability reasons, and just I don't know. I just try to stay professional. But it's almost every event. It's like, hey, can we take a shot together? Or I've been offered left-handed cigarettes all the time as well.
Oh, well, you can do that. I mean, that'll just make the pours
So,
a little heavier.
I will tell you that I've been to a couple private parties at rich guys' houses, and they've had a private bartender.
It's never been the way I wanted it, though. I've always wanted it like this, but I've always
Yeah.
wanted it like the service, and it's usually either a novelty or like one of their friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've seen it where it's like they hired a person. It's like Taylor does,
Yeah.
and it's like a professional. He's there wearing a
Like a tuxedo shirt.
Yeah,
Everybody
tuxedo,
knows you
yeah.
wear the tuxedo shirt.
And then I'm like, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is fancy.
But the tuxedo shirt's always a little yellow.
So Taylor, let's say I want to have a pool party and I want to invite some people and impress them, and I want to have you bartender.
Hire a teen lifeguard, too, like you did that one time.
No, come on, not teen. She was in her
He hired
20s.
a teen
Come
lifeguard.
on,
Teen.
don't talk
He
about
hired
it.
a teen lifeguard
No,
one time.
I didn't.
She's
My
"All right."
wife did.
Yeah, she's like, all right, kids, volleyball time. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Come on, don't talk about
Let's
it.
spike it.
So, how much to get you there? You bartender my pool party. You bring
Why
the
are
rig.
you yelling at him like Armenian?
Actually-
you bartender my pool party. You do it now. What the hell's
His
wrong?
brain is
What,
shutting
you
down.
dripping with rings.
I don't need you to bring the mobile bar. You could do it with my outdoor kitchen.
No,
What?
oh no,
No, you
that's
can do
like
it from-
serving. That's like serving champagne out of an old wagon shack.
No.
That's an old wagon shack.
No, because you
It's
know
like
it's
an old-
cheaper.
It's a mine.
You're gonna cheap out, make
Yeah.
him use your kitchen.
I'll bring the booze and then you just serve it. How much,
hot
Taylor?
vodka.
And it's Tom Van prices. Remember?
What does that mean?
Yeah, this could be your first big celebrity.
Yeah.
So I used to do events where I had my bottom level package. If you just need a bartender, I'll show with my tools and I'll serve whatever you got. And that way I figured
Your tools are your hands.
Muddling tools.
My shaker tins and my digger, my strainer. Come on.
I can muddle. I can muddle with my fingers.
You don't have to bring it.
I'm a finger muddler.
I'll give you a cup.
Yeah,
and I'll give you a spaghetti strainer.
I'll give you
Spaghetti
I'll give you some. I'll give you some of that plastic cutlery from Beefy King, and you can muddle me an orange.
No, I quit doing the bartender only service because I didn't want to leave out any potential clientele, but I got too busy to the point where it's not worth it. And not only that, I remember the last straw. I showed up to the event, and their cups that they provided, because I didn't provide them, were 5-ounce cups for mixed drinks. And I don't know if you know how tiny that is. It's pretty much a shot glass.
Yeah. Well, why did they give you 5 ounce?
Well, they were little people.
Because the point is my whole point is to hire me is because I'm the one that takes the guesswork out of everything. I have the expertise, and I just don't. It doesn't make any sense for me to show up and bartend with the wrong things. Like, oh, we have the mixers are Diet Sprite and Orange Crush, and then all we have is Hennessy.
Oh man, that's bad.
I know where you're at.
Yeah, I know whose house you're at.
So,
just an example.
There's probably a knife keeping the toilet from running.
So, how much, Taylor, to bartend my party?
You need to fill out my form on my website. Then I can give you an accurate
fill out a form.
Plug his website.
Just tell me how much.
Okay. So it ranges. So the base price is $300, but that's not including how much each head. So then on top of that, the head count comes into play, and then different packages on top of that. So the cheapest is probably going to be for a small party, maybe like $500.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Do you do anything else like play acoustic guitar or something?
Yeah.
You know, like a.
Do you have like a PA?
Because I saw this move too. That a rich guy hired his own acoustic guitar. It was Jimmy.
Yeah.
It was Jimmy. It was Dirty Jim Colbert.
You pour one drink and you're like,
yeah.
And I'm going to take a quick break real quick, so enjoy those cocktails. This is Christopher Cross sailing. Well, it's not far down to paradise.
Yeah.
At least it's not for me.
Our buddy Jim Colbert hired at a couple different house parties his own personal
acoustic boy.
He hired
an acoustic boy.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're rich.
Yeah.
When you hire an acoustic boy, you're rich.
It was like Jan from The Office. And I thought it was. Listen, I'm not hating. I thought it was awesome. I was like, wow, there's an acoustic boy playing.
This is
fancy.
I walked in and there was like
It made me uncomfortable.
like a low rumbling, and then I look at the corner. And he looked goth. But he had on jet black etnies, and long, stringy Kurt Cobain hair.
Big, wide, big, thick boys.
Huge, thick boy shoes. His shoes look like two black sponges on his feet. Well, it's not far down to paradise. At least it's not for me. If the moon is right, we can sail away.
Will you leave your cell phone in the car? Because
I don't want you taking pictures of my wife when she's showing her new implants that are escaping from her body.
Like if we're
I don't.
Oh no!
Oh, there you are. I thought you hung up.
I would have.
No, I'm here. I don't bring an acoustic guitar, but I do have a large Bluetooth speaker that I bring because oftentimes people will forget. Like weddings, they always have a DJ, but oftentimes for private parties, people will forget music, and parties are so awkward and lame without music. So I bring that, and that honestly gets me like.
I see that you guys have no music playing. Allow me to whip out my Bose Sound Deck 2. Here's a '90s playlist.
So how do you do this as your full-time job?
Yeah, it's getting close to being back to full-time. So It was almost full-time, and then COVID hit, and then everything just completely went away. So I went back to working at a restaurant, and then I also produce comedy shows. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, now it's getting close to maybe close to a year I'll be full-time.
Awesome, man. Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. Any other
Thank you.
last crazy story you can remember? You said you have a couple from the villages.
Oh man, just anything specific. I'm blanking at the moment, but just in general, just know that these people, when people think of the villages, people know that they like to drink, and there's that whole rumor, the STD thing. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. I'm not sure. You have to come to see it for yourself. But they party, and they age. It really is just a number. Like these people will act like they are in college again, or even crazier. It's a really fun place, and.
You know what?
I could probably write a book about the villages.
You know what I'm still waiting to see? Because, like when you're young and you're like man or woman and you dance well.
Yeah.
But I never see, I'm waiting to see that one old person who's really old that still dances well. Because normally your body starts giving out, right?
Yeah,
So you just can't do it anymore. But I want to see like an old guy like really dancing well.
I'm sure, but how old? Like
80s, like
Oh,
old, dude.
that's too
I want
old,
old.
yeah.
I want one-off old.
Dude, there's some old people they still surf and stuff. There's 90-year-old.
I don't think they surf though. I think they just stand around the beach waiting for people to take pictures of them, put them on billboards, and say, "Live your best life." I never see any old people surfing, but I sure do see them taking pictures of themselves holding surfboards and wearing wetsuits and stuff.
All right, Taylor. Thanks for being on Weird Job. We probably won't talk to you again, though.
No.
I can't imagine.
Yeah,
Unless
I can't imagine a scenario where we'd ever run into each other again.
Yeah. Maybe at a private party
So
somewhere.
this is goodbye forever, and we want you to know that. We want you to be okay
Have
with
him
it.
bartend our holiday Christmas party.
I think we're canceling that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Everything's
Budget cuts?
budget
No,
cuts. Yeah.
Oh, you're
private
remodeling
one?
your house again.
No, the private.
Yeah.
We
We
do a
prefer
private
to call
one.
them cudget butts. Don't.
Budget
All right,
Yeah.
Taylor. Bye.
All right, see you guys. Thank you.
Bye bye.
I'm telling you, I need a button to just hang up. I know why the old radio guys
Well, I
do
can
that.
do
Yeah.
it, but
They just hang up on their face.
yeah,
That's how they did
it's
it.
just easier.
Yeah.
It is easier.
Um,
Are we gonna do anything for Christmas? What are we doing?
I don't know.
You already put your tree up, I guess. We'll have to talk about
Oh,
it.
we'll
yeah.
talk about it Friday.
Also, I think the STD thing in the villages, if you think about it, they're all these people are older.
Yeah, they
They've
probably already had the STDs.
Well,
so they got them now.
Yeah.
they got them when they were younger. They just held on to them.
Well, they got them in the 60s.
Yeah.
Herpes stays
of
with you
course,
forever.
older people have more diseases. By that time, you get all the diseases. You
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
cancer. You get it all. You get the
collect
AIDS.
them. Yeah. You collect all
Because
these.
your body is dying and collecting diseases.
But also, you've been around more. You've had more partners.
Yeah.
So you've had more experiences.
I think it'd be
so
easier, too,
chances,
right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be easier to get a disease when you're old?
Like-
I would think so.
Also, you've just been around more. You've experienced more. So of course you have some sort of disease. More likely than to have it when you're young, right?
Oh, yeah. Look, I agree.
Anyway.
Yeah. Let's take a little break. Come back with more A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
So I was just thinking if we haven't had Chris in since the pandemic.
Have
is
we?
that-
I thought we had once.
In?
Yeah. And
No.
We haven't
then-
had once?
We may have
I've been
Zoomed.
on the show
Yeah,
twice.
yeah. But I'm saying in studio.
I haven't been in studio since January 2020.
Oh,
like
man.
right before
Year and a
it went
half.
down. Yeah.
It's about to be 2022.
That's
I know.
Does
right.
anybody?
It's
Does,
insane,
That's crazy.
dude.
I
What
mean,
happened
I
this
could have
year?
sworn
2
we had
years.
you in. I could have sworn. And
I know.
It feels like we have, and you were saying, or I think, Chris, you said, it's good to be back in here. And I was like, didn't we have him in?
I did a Zoom a few months ago, and it's like I'm on the screen there.
Right.
I'm like here with you. I'm in your ears.
you know
but
what? The
I'm
Zoom
not,
is
I'm
just
not
as
here.
good. I'm kidding. I'm joking. It's
Yeah.
not just
I
as
should have
good.
just gone home, right?
No, I just have but it's just what's wrong with me is my memories, I feel like, have all been stolen from me. And I don't know.
yeah.
Like, I don't know what. I
Like,
know nothing.
what's real?
I
What
don't
can you
know
trust
nothing
anymore?
anymore.
No, man.
Someone stole your marbles out of your bag, old man.
No.
Somebody stole my marbles out of my bag.
Butler dressed like Peter Pan. Isn't that Peter Pan? All right. They're the old man that lost his
I
marbles.
don't know.
in Peter
I
Pan,
just-
right?
I haven't watched Peter Pan since I was a toddler.
I thought you were about
Chris,
to.
I was
just-
like,
that
what? Am I?
I thought you were about to quit. That's why,
Oh.
that's why you told Butler to put on his Peter Pan costume.
Butler was
Isn't that a
looking
Peter?
around the corner giving me this symbol, and I'm like, what the
Wait,
hell?
are you talking about the movie
It's in
Hook?
the movie Hook.
Usually
Yeah.
that's happening.
Okay. Oh, okay.
He gave the
Proud Boy.
white supremacist Proud Boy sign?
I don't know
Who did
what's
that?
going on.
Oh my God, he's dressed like Gru from Universal Studios Islands of Adventure, and he's giving the okay sign? What's happening? Oh no, he was just a Proud Boy the whole time.
Makes sense now.
Chris Crespo's here.
Yay!
How you doing, Chris?
How's it
That was
going,
a
guys?
clunky intro. Hey, Crespo.
That feels on brand for me, though. If anyone listens to my show, they know it's the clunkiest of clunks, and I
That's
appreciate it.
okay,
Thank
man.
you
You're
so
our
much.
favorite clunker.
Yes,
You really are,
I'm
man.
Orlando's #1 clunker.
You look good though. You look healthy and tan and
Thank
lean.
you. Thank you. I
Are
appreciate
you working?
it. I've been doing the cardios and laying out in the sun and burning myself good.
Because I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
compliments too. I like to throw them out there. You
Thank
look
you.
good, man.
I
You
was
look
going
good.
for the red brown. Me too.
Yes, I'm trying
Yeah.
to get that
See?
tight red
Wow,
brown.
so Sam was just I'm just throwing it out there. If you don't subscribe to her TikTok, you're missing a lot of talks. There's some videos you'll knows that you hold your thumb on them and try to save them.
There's a save feature.
I don't
There
do.
is,
I
yeah.
don't. No, I don't do any of that because I know it tells.
You don't
me-
want to. You want to
I
trace
don't want to get it told on.
Fair.
I wish that I could ever look like I was the head of a cartel, like Chris.
No
does.
one's ever done that. Yeah, he does.
I will never look like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, there's no way. Like I could wear I'll just look like Fat Dad on vacation,
Yeah.
right?
You got at least start with a white suit, all white suit, black shirt. Start there, and then you can
Yeah.
figure out your way to the head of a cartel.
So,
You
Chris,
could do like an Irish cartel if you swoop your hair down a little bit.
it's not as
You know,
Get a Kangol hat.
start busting up some whiskey barrels or something. You know?
They look more stressed out. Like the South American cartels, they look like it's more.
I thought you were gonna say
Suave,
South
right?
Mariachi. Like, I don't even know what that is, but it sounds amazing.
It's just you're by a pool. You're ordering a hit on your phone,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
but it's a big
Casual
white,
hit.
big white Unidine
Casual hit.
cordless.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
white Unidine.
But also you have a drink in your hand with
Yes.
like an umbrella in it.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I
you're
think it's
in a
'cause
robe.
it's so hot down
You also
there.
have
Yeah.
a big cat running around your pool.
Yes, those are scary. I think it's because it's so hot, and then also by the time you get to that point, like me, you're sort of heavy,
It's
and then it
chained.
makes it even hotter. So you just want everything to be calm and slow down and cool
Yeah.
while you're ordering the hits and doing all the bad guys.
Yeah. There's bikini girls.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
any
but you
other.
don't have time for them. You're too busy killing people.
Yeah.
Well, they're there for the your henchmen.
Ambiance. They're the
yeah.
ambiance. They feed the big cat.
Yeah.
So,
Keep
Chris,
the big cat in check.
I was just telling Samantha in the before we started actually about movies, and I was like, there hasn't been a movie that's come out in my mind in like over a year or two that I've been excited about. Like, oh, I got to see that. You know, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem. And it seems like it may be me getting old or whatever the hell.
Maybe
but,
you're just not paying attention.
or maybe I'm not paying attention. But
Or you're not on the things that they're marketing movies
Right.
on.
Yeah, yeah,
like, where do they
yeah.
market
I don't-
movies
yeah.
anymore since no one has cable?
I don't watch.
Yeah, do they
commercials.
market on? I don't know, Shovel Depot or whatever you do in the afternoons.
No.
All you do in the afternoons is dig,
well-
and then you come inside, complain about your hands, and sit in silence with your wife.
But I don't watch TV with commercials anymore. So
Right.
the only commercials I get are on Facebook or whatever. Like
I still get even if we're streaming something, like I'm a big Apple TV guy, and I still get that initial commercial for like a big movie.
But it's
That's-
usually for like the service you're watching.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they're just pimping their own thing. Like my mom, she said she saw a commercial for a movie. I was like, what is this movie? I've never heard of this. She's like, that's Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. I'm like, what? You're making this up. And it's this Adam McKay movie coming out on Netflix called Don't Look Up. I haven't seen any marketing for
I haven't
it.
heard about that at
Never
all.
heard of that.
Exactly.
This is all breaking news from Crespo's mom.
Exactly. It was to me. I was like, what? I look it up. It's like a $200 million movie.
Good on her.
DiCaprio got paid $30 million to do it. J-Law got paid $25 million. It's like an apocalyptic dark comedy from Adam McKay, and it's a Netflix movie.
Sounds
where,
great.
But where do you see the ad? And
Wait
I
a
asked her,
minute.
where did you see this ad?
I
And
just
she
watched
couldn't even remind me.
Greenland over the weekend,
Oof.
which sounds like the same exact plot.
It does have a similar plot. Like it's like
Right.
asteroids are coming.
Yeah.
Except it's a little different.
Jonah
in
Hill
quality.
was in it. Tyler
Yeah.
Perry. Interesting.
Jonah Hill is
Yeah.
cool now, right? Like he's like
Ariana Grande's in this.
Jonah Hill's like thin now.
Meryl Streep. What
and
is this?
Yeah, that has a gigantic cast. That's the difference between that and Greenland. I
Jonah
think,
Hill
the
is
cast.
unrecognizable. You look at him; he's got long, like
Blonde hair. He
Blonde
dyed
hair.
it, yeah.
He's got he bleaches it. He has a surfer beard, and he's always surfing. He's
Yep.
always in the surf.
And he's always fat skinny now.
Yeah, and he looks great. Like he looks like he's enjoying. Like I'm like whatever you're doing, I want that.
And
you are having a good time.
One of the things he did, Dan, was he took a almost 3-year break from films.
Good on him.
He hasn't been in a movie
He's a
in a
director
minute.
now. No,
Yeah.
all he talks about now is directing.
The last
he never
thing
talks about.
the last thing he did was that mid-90s movie,
Yep.
and then he's been on like life vacation since then, just getting everything in order. That's why he's looking good now.
That's the
why
way to do it,
You gotta
man.
relax, buddy. Take a
Yeah,
couple
he
days off.
looks great.
It seems
He does
like
look really good.
was that pre-pandemic? Obviously,
Mid-90s and all that?
Yeah,
Or the
yeah.
break he took?
Yeah.
And I'm sure the break then helped him. Like, okay, fine. We're all taking a
It's
break
right
now.
before,
Yeah,
but
sure.
I'm seeing these guys that normally I would like. These would be the guys that I would gravitate to see a film. So I'll throw
Yeah.
some names at you. Earlier on, it would have been like your Jack Blacks, Zach Galifianakis,
Sure, yeah.
Jonah Hill. There's certain people that if they're just in a comedic role or not even comedic, I just like I gravitate to wanting to
Sure,
see them.
sure.
You mentioned another one, somebody a bigger guy, but anyway, these type of guys
DiCaprio?
Seth Rogen.
Oh, Seth
Yeah.
Rogen.
Seth
yeah,
Rogen.
yeah. I'm a Seth Rogen
so
fan.
these guys, I'm following them, and they're not really doing any acting anymore. I mean, they are, but they're taking their time and picking their roles. And then, like, Seth Rogen's all about pottery now. All he does is make vases all day long.
He makes pottery,
Yeah.
and then he sells them with like his own brand of
Yes,
wheat plants
wheat
in
plants,
them.
Yes, and then Jonah Hill is
yeah.
all about the surfing and the meditation and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is a way better look for you guys.
Because they made their monies
Yeah,
and they're
good on
married.
you.
I know Seth Rogen's married. They're happy.
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
also
They look healthy.
Yeah, it seems nice. I wonder what it's like.
The industry's changed, and the fact that I don't know too much about the movie industry, but it seems like people now they have a lot more choice into what they want to be involved in,
Yeah.
as opposed to there was like major movie production companies that would come out with movies, and then your agent would work a deal out with whatever the next big movie
Mm-hmm.
is. You go audition for it, and you get that. And it was more of like,
You
I
stay
guess
in your lane type of thing.
yeah. Everybody did what they always did, and then so you did a lot more movies that you may have not been interested in doing.
Yeah.
But because that's the way everything was done. Now it's like you get to pick the ones and the projects that you want to do because there's so many people producing content.
That's why
like
people
Netflix
make. That's
and,
why people make their own production company. Reese Witherspoon just sold her
Yes,
production
she did.
company.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
Yes.
to Apple for $900 million. Good lord.
Yeah,
and
she
she started that because she was like, I'm not getting the roles that I want, so I need
Yeah.
to produce the movies that I want
Well,
to be in.
Saw her in that documentary about it, the
Yes.
Gina Davis documentary. What is it? This Changes Everything? I
Yeah,
think?
well, that was earlier on. This deal apparently had been in the works.
kind of makes me mad that she sold it.
And then
well, she's still like.
apparently she's going to start another one, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she like still sits on the board of this
Yeah.
company, and
From what I understood, it was like the way she started it, and then it started from the ground up where she was deciding that, like, okay, well, I want more female directors, so
Yes.
we're going to start there. And then I
Yes.
want more female everybody, more
Yes.
PAs, more everybody, just all the ladies. So she crams all the ladies in there
Yep.
kind of forcefully, but then it just starts
And it worked.
organically growing perfectly. and
because they
then-
made good stuff.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
made really good
Their
stuff.
first movie they produced is this movie called Wild that she starred in. That was based on a memoir, and that movie was so good. I went and got the book, and I was like, "Man, the book is good too. I highly recommend
God,
it."
movies
She-
making you read.
Exactly. I was like, I have to do it. And then she produced Gone Girl, the David Fincher Ben Affleck movie, but she produced it to star in it. But then she hired David Fincher, the director, and then Fincher was like, you know what? You're not right for this role. Of the wife who goes missing.
Yeah.
I want to recast that. And as a producer, she's like, okay, I'm gonna step back and not be in this movie that I developed for me. It went to Rosamund Pike, and then it was a big hit, huge success.
Seems
Everyone
like
loved
she's
it.
a real smarty
She's
pants.
very smart, savvy business lady.
Yeah.
So let's talk about obviously in 2020 there was a lot of news about movies
COVID?
being there's that thing. Yeah, can you believe it? That was crazy.
It's a bunch of nonsense. Hoax.
So, but there was a lot of talk about movies being pushed back a
Yes,
year,
yes.
and I knew that like last year at this time, people were like, "Oh, they're pushing it back to 2021."
Yes.
So, are big releases coming out soon?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a mixture now. It's interesting. It's kind of hard to gauge the marketplace, to be honest, because Paramount just threw in the towel on 2021. They pushed Jackass to February. They pushed Mission Impossible to next Thanksgiving, and Top Gun to next summer.
The
So
Top Gun one I didn't understand because these are all in the can, so this is only to try and recap
Yes.
or recoup.
Yes,
rather.
yes, they
Not
want to
recap.
make their money, and then also I think those movies probably have deals written in place where they can't be sold to streaming services. They have to have
Yeah.
theatrical releases,
And
especially
they-
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, they're highly funded
Disney got
by
in some
Tom
trouble.
Cruise, and Tom Cruise isn't going to let him do that because
Exactly.
he's Mr. Back End Money guy.
Yeah, he doesn't want Mission Impossible to prop up their Paramount Plus app. He wants to prop up movie theaters. theaters because he legitimately loves movies, and he makes all his money there. So like Paramount threw in the towel on this here. However, like one of the spots that they abandoned, that they moved Mission Impossible, Warner Brothers put Ghostbusters Afterlife in there because that just had a screening at a CinemaCon a couple weeks ago, and rave reviews at this screening. These people loved it. So now Warner Brothers moved that release up. Venom
God,
just got moved up like 2 weeks. Things are shifting around in all directions.
How do you even vet when you leak a movie at one of these cons? Because aren't people starved? It's like hanging out
Right.
green beans for people that have never had food in the past month, and then they're like, "These are the best things I've ever." Like,
Yes, and
like
then
you would never choose that.
And then at CinemaCon, those are theater exhibitors that they're selling the movies to. So these people are obviously like, yes,
it's
we love these
weighted, right?
movies because they want them to play in their theaters. They showed them the first 13 minutes of Top Gun Maverick. It was before they announced that they were moving it. And the people went crazy for the first 13 minutes. They're like, holy cow, this movie might actually be good. And then they pushed it to next year. So I think they really see the opportunity for money. And then they think if we wait a little longer, that Mew variant ain't too bad. Maybe, it'll be okay. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Or maybe these movies won't come out till like 2024. Who knows?
Well, at a certain point, they'll just have to put them out there, right?
Yes.
Because you
They lose money the longer they sit on them.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're actively losing money on them. They need to come out soon.
I may
to
be
make money.
wrong, and you guys know I'm not a movie guy. Like I don't like the theaters to me don't really matter because I don't.
Yeah.
That's just not how I consume, right? Even though it's funny that the one time you guys are talking about like going to the movies, like now would be the one time where I kind of do want to go to the movies.
They're empty, man.
Yeah, because there's nobody. I just like I don't know.
They are empty. You
Yeah.
don't go opening night, forget about it. You have a private screening of Candyman right now if you want it.
I could be wrong, but I feel like a better play would be to what you have release, don't hold, and then always look for the new thing. And look, man,
Just keep
sorry,
pushing
that's just
through.
the way it happened.
Yeah.
And that's COVID, and that's what happened. But I think pulling it back, man, I don't know if that's
That's
gonna
the thing, because it's gonna
help
be.
anything.
It might be weird when
Well-
I finally sit down to watch Top Gun Maverick. I'm like, I'm watching a 2.5-year-old movie
Well,
right now.
right.
Like, this
yeah.
is
Are they
strange.
gonna have to
Yeah.
go back and reshoot anything? Like I'm not
They
saying
did for James Bond.
I know they did in James Bond. They
Yeah.
had a technology problem where
Yeah.
they had to go back and be like, well, that's not how the technology is. We don't have rotary phones anymore.
Yeah.
Also-
That's how long ago they shot it.
But think about there's also back end business problems with releasing movies, and the fact that you releasing a movie may seem irresponsible to different people. They're like, oh, you're gonna pack the movie theaters, and you shouldn't do that during.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like,
Right.
imagine they're being put pressure on by certain people. Like,
Sure.
don't release this movie now because you're gonna spread COVID. You know what I'm saying?
There's
So
plenty of people
There's
who
that.
are like,
yeah.
there's plenty of people who, and I try to be as safe as possible. I wear masks, I'm vaxxed,
But
all
we're
that
also in
stuff.
Florida. There's a completely. You
It's
live in
crazy
yeah.
here.
Yes.
It's crazy.
You talk
here.
to people in California.
It is
it's-
crazy.
Yeah.
It's a different life.
It's a different life.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I try to be as safe and reasonable
Yeah.
and smart as possible about all this stuff. But then also with movie theaters, I even Googled it. I looked online. There is no confirmed case of anyone getting COVID from going to a movie. That hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And there have been confirmed. It's been connected to like bars and music festivals and all sorts
Yeah,
of
because
stuff.
you're not talking to someone in the face.
You're just
and,
sitting there.
and it's not floating around like the old. I remember what's that movie, the pandemic movie, where it
They show it like floating.
It has a scene in the
yeah,
movie
yeah,
theater of the pandemic
People were
spreading.
taking
Yeah.
that and then editing it in
Outbreak.
their own videos to make it look as if
Yeah.
that was like legitimate science.
Like, this is how it happened.
God, don't-
This is how it happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think movie theaters are pretty
You're
safe.
getting it from your uncle spitting in your face at Thanksgiving.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
You know,
your unvaxxed uncle who's just like, let me
Yeah.
tell you what the Q drop said.
I was
Yeah,
sitting
yeah,
on the
no,
back
no,
of the
no, no,
motorcycle
no.
eating
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hot dog on a string.
but regardless, though, people are not packing in movie
They're
theaters.
not packing them
Yeah,
in. They're not. Shang-Chi did just have a really big opening weekend, which is a good sign for movie
It looks
theaters.
good, man.
It's a very good, especially if you
Isn't that surprising? As
Yeah.
a non-Marvel guy, I'll hate on the Marvel stuff all day long. This looks good.
I'll tell you what, if you like kung fu movies,
Yes, I do.
then you'll like this one. And then also, since it's a standalone movie, you don't have to feel weighed down by
so I
20
can watch
movies worth of
this,
lore.
and it'll make all the
Yeah.
Marvel guys mad if this is the one I watch, right?
It could,
Make them all
maybe
mad.
I don't know. It's a fun one though. It's really enjoyable.
All
And-
my friends say the action scenes, the karate is.
yeah, they're great. It's all
Well,
great.
I should say martial arts. That's like as
Well,
a dumb old man when you say
they're
them karate scenes is great.
They're Chinese, so it's kung fu. Yeah,
Yeah, kung fu.
No, they got like legendary actors in
Yeah.
there, like Michelle Yao and Tony Leung. Like, it's a legit, well-made kung fu movie.
That's cool.
And it just made $90 million on the 4-day Labor Day weekend. To put that into some interesting perspective, Labor Day is already a bad movie-going weekend. People don't go to the movies on Labor Day. They barbecue, Day Beach. It's the last. That's the end of the summer. So the biggest opening weekend before this was Rob Zombie's Halloween, his first one. That made $30 million over 4 days. So this tripled that amount during the pandemic while people are like staying away from theaters. If this had come out like during a quote normal box office or whatever, this could have been $160 million opening weekend for this thing. Who knows?
I saw
So
Rob
it's really
Zombie
healthy.
is raising the roof on his Monsters home this weekend. They put the
Oh,
I'm not
for the Monsters
yeah,
movie?
the Monsters. They literally put the roof on. He made the whole
That's crazy.
House, and then they showed on his Instagram them putting the crane on top, and I'm like, all right, you kind of got me, man. It looks really.
Is he gonna do like a straight up family like take on the Monsters? What's he doing?
Check out his Instagram. I have no idea. it just like he's making the house, and he's like, here we are, and I'm like, because it looks better than a set. I mean, it looks like he's making the house.
Because he's doing it for real, yeah, and they're just going to shoot in there for real.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
That's incredible.
Good for him, though, man.
Rob
That
Zombie's
guy's
the Monsters.
Yeah,
That's
get it,
so
weirdo.
wild.
Get
Yeah.
it.
Get it, weirdo.
Let's talk about scary movies because it's after Labor Day, going into Halloween.
Yeah, sure.
There's that
We got a
scary
couple.
movie. So what's out or coming out that people are excited about?
Well, coming out, just mentioned at the end of September is going to be new James Bond. If people are into that, it's Daniel Craig's last go around, et cetera, et cetera.
It looks amazing.
I think it looks really fun.
Yeah, the trailer is ridiculously good.
Yeah, and it's the guy who did the first season of True Detective directed this movie too.
That's
so,
funny. It
yeah.
feels like that.
Right? Yeah, it's got that weird like
Yeah, shout out
existential
to
dread
Angel's,
it.
the one that turned me onto the 007
Oh, yeah.
trailer.
He was
'cause-
like, "Hey, Poppy, check this one out."
yeah,
Like,
it's good,
yeah.
man. It's really good.
It's
It
really
looks-
good.
It looks really good.
And then in October, there's a bunch of movies. October starts with the Venom sequel, which I think the trailer looks terrible, but that doesn't matter because the first one made $800 million worldwide. This one, it's even bigger. They got Andy Serkis to direct it, and he's a mocap genius. So who knows if this movie's going to be good or not, but I think it has a good chance to make a decent
What
amount
a
of money.
great name.
Andy Serkis, Serkis.
I mean, I feel like
Gets you good.
you have to do something in entertainment.
You
with
have to
that
move your
name.
body like a lot, right?
Yeah, I feel like if your name's Andy Serkis and you work at like AT&T,
You got to be some sort of man who can move like a monkey or
yeah, it'd be weird.
What movies are getting released straight to
Streaming services?
Streaming as far as like on demand or whatever. Like it seems like there's been this hesitancy because obviously there are certain movies that were made when their contracts were
Sure.
different and
Yeah.
stuff. So like
'Cause
we
then
saw Disney go through it and like all that.
They're
Yeah.
still going through it. I
So,
guess.
but I assume
Absolutely still going through it,
I
yeah.
also assume that certain companies are like, screw this, we're just gonna release it streaming.
Like one I can think of is the Hotel Transylvania 4. I can't believe there's 4 of these now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but those things, they make so much money.
You want to know why? I watched 3 over the weekend. Just it was on the background.
The cruise one?
Yeah, the cruise one. Well, it was just on the background while the
just
girls
silly,
are crafting.
yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's funny.
They
It's
just,
not.
they're passable.
Kids,
They're
yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right.
not reinventing the wheel.
They're also not
It's
bad, though,
It's
right?
not bad.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is it's just good enough to like it's complete. It's better than TV.
Yeah, sure, to put it on whatever.
Yeah.
it's not as good as like a Pixar
No.
movie, but
But it's
it's
still
like
good.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, for your kids.
That one was supposed to come out this weekend. I think it was scheduled for the same weekend as Clifford the Big Red Dog. So there's like 2
That
family
looks
movies.
terrible.
That
That
looks
does look
terrible.
Why
man,
the
it-
hell are they even trying
That
to
one
still
made me
do that?
sad
Is
because
that wild?
that's one of my mom's and my mom is a librarian. One of her
Yeah.
favorite
It's
of
one
all
of the
time.
staples.
It is literally a legendary children's book. It was I had a stuffed Clifford, the
Yeah.
real one.
Yeah. I think I did too. I think
I'm
I
just
think I
like-
kept my Duplo box in it.
I hate it when they take something and like really iconic and kind of like you're like, oh, it could have been so much better.
I think it just looks cheap.
And sometimes they
Yeah,
do a
it
good
does.
job.
Yeah.
Like I will say, I finally got to see the thing your boys like, that Detective Pikachu thing. That's good.
It was cute.
It's fine.
I was actually, my expectations were too high for that movie. I was like, this could be great. And then when I saw it, I was like, yeah.
Sonic.
But for what it is,
Not
it's
bad.
good.
Sonic. I saw Sonic.
Sonic was
Yeah,
fun.
Not
that was
bad.
good.
Idris Elba's going to be in the second one. Because why not?
This
Oh, yeah, my
looks-
sons are excited about the second one.
Are they? Yeah,
Sonic
Knuckles,
is,
man.
Oh, yeah.
Sonic is great, but I'm saying
More
this Clifford,
tails.
and Sam's right, this Clifford looks bad.
It looks bad. But then what ended up happening, this is funny. So Hotel Transylvania, those 2 movies supposed to come out the same weekend. Hotel Transylvania got sold to a streaming service for like $100 million. So that's going to be coming out around October on streaming right away.
Adam Sandler.
And then after that, Clifford just moved to 2022. Like, you know what? I think we're going to sit on this for a while and instead of putting it out in theaters. So that whole weekend got abandoned by families. I think you're going to see a lot of family movies getting sold off and getting pushed also, because it's different. If it's just me going to theater, yeah, I'll go see Tenet. Tenet's a theater full of single dudes, seeing Christopher Nolan bros. But if you put out Hotel
Bringing your whole
Transylvania,
family,
yeah, got whole families and stuff. Those theaters will fill up quick if you do it that way. So that
Tom,
may
you
be
probably like this
factoring
more
into it.
now because, like, in a weird way, a lot of these production houses are gambling. They're like, do we put it out now and see if we can recoup, or do we hold on to it, wait and see if we get a handle on this and put it back? It's gambling, right?
That's what Disney's doing with their Premier Access gate.
Yeah.
They were for sure waiting to see how Shang-Chi does in theaters before they decide to put that $30
Correct.
gate on Eternals, the next Marvel movie, because Marvel is stuck. By abandoning last year, they have to put out 3 years worth of movies in 2 years. So there is now a Marvel movie coming out every 2 months from now until 2023.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
We'll
so
have to hear
if-
about that from EJ every week.
Unfortunately. So if there's any chance for people to get burned out by comic book movies, it's going to happen now, where we just get...
Oh, God.
What he was.
I kind of thought we were getting a lot of them good. I didn't
and
think
that's-
we were ramping up.
And I'm only talking Marvel. Then there's the Sony Spider-Man stuff. Then there's anything that's like not all the DC
Too many
Warner
costumes.
Brothers
Too
stuff.
many costumes.
It's all costumes. It's all ridiculous.
Too many costumes.
We're going to get to a point where there could be a comic book movie like a month from a different company for the next 2 or 3 years.
Nah, man. We got to get out of that.
On top of the D plus shows.
Yeah, we got to get out of that. More
So-
comedies. We need more
But meanwhile-
straight-ahead Police Academy movies with
Yeah, slapstick.
veiled slapstick and racism.
We need Police Academy 8, bring it back to the R-rated. But Dan, we say that, but then once they put out Invincible Season 2, we're watching it.
Man,
We're jumping right on it.
I'm not anti any of these Marvel movies. I just don't fully understand
It
them.
just gets tiring.
Yeah, it does get tiring, and I wish I was in on the joke. Like, I wish I was fully involved
Sure,
and had watched them from jump.
And I am, and like I appreciate what they're doing with those movies. I'm into them, but I'm also not like declaring them to be like, oh, this needs to be the Best Picture winner, blah blah blah. Like this is cinema. That they're fine. They're what they are.
Let's talk Stillwater. Because,
Matt Damon's
yeah,
Stillwater.
Yeah, because
Oh, man.
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't.
okay.
But
It'll be on streaming soon.
Crystal
Soon.
told me, she's like, hey, there's some Matt Damon movie I saw that people were talking about on Facebook. And then we watched the trailer, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to watch it. Like, I don't know. I just,
Well, what is it?
It made me.
It's just the title sounds boring. Still water, and
Because
that's
he's-
as boring as it gets.
Yeah, because he's from Stillwater.
No,
Oklahoma.
still water is boring. It's just water sitting there.
That is worse. He plays a guy who's like the father of an Amanda Knox type of person who gets herself arrested
Ooh,
for
Foxy
a murder.
Knoxy.
Yes, exactly. So what if Foxy Knoxy's dad was like Liam Neeson in Taken, that type of thing?
Give
So he's
me
like,
back my over-sexualized daughter.
Yes, exactly. That's essentially
So
what it is.
she's locked up for a murder. She's claiming she didn't do it.
Yeah. And then he's the dad who's like, I'm from America to prove that my
We
daughter's
already
innocent.
watched this play out in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that.
But-
You know what? I'm in with the Marvel movies. Give me the costume.
But is he like some sort like Liam Neeson was like a
yeah, secret
trained-
badass.
Yeah. What is
I
this-
have a very.
No, he's just like an oil.
Yeah,
like-
he's just a rich guy.
I hate that.
I'm an old fat dad. I do not have any skills. I have money.
I wear flannel.
Yeah. Because then it's like it's
I
kind
wear flannel.
it's unbelievable for me to think that you, as being this roughneck from Texas or
Yeah.
whatever, are you gonna fly to Europe and then start
And
beating
start pushing
up?
around diplomats and stuff. Yeah,
My
yeah.
daughter did not kill her roommate in an orgy.
I know. I'll raise her that way.
Yeah, and
She only kills one-on-one sex.
and it's just because it's Matt Damon doing a redneck Southern accent.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And then the guy who made that
Stupid.
movie is this dude, Tom McCarthy, who some of his movies have been huge hits. He did that Spotlight movie with Michael Keaton about the Boston newspaper, whatever, investigating like the
Oh,
church
yes.
abuses. And that movie was a huge hit, made a lot of money despite the topic and all that. Like, this guy is pretty good at taking dramas and then making them very watchable and very good. And I think this movie did get decent reviews, but I'm kind of over Matt Damon.
By the way, when your daughter's in real trouble, no one's really going to go to Europe and start beating up gangsters or whatever.
Yeah.
You're probably just going to go to a motel and drink 18
the first
Miller
thing I'm
Lights
gonna
and
do-
then
no.
threaten to kill yourself.
First thing
The George Anthony.
That's
the George Anthony.
It is. You go to straight to
That's more
Daytona
like
Beach.
yeah. You go to Daytona Beach.
I got some Tylenol PMs and some Miller Lights.
You check in right there on the ocean side, right there, the white elephant.
Yeah. That's the more likely scenario.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's out there right now that you would suggest that people should go
If
see?
you're not looking for Marvel stuff, Candyman is great. I really, really enjoyed that. I would even recommend like watching the OG 92 one and then watching this one right after.
What is the story about Candyman? He is
the Candyman lore?
Yeah.
He's a guy he's the son of a former slave who his dad made a ton of money, like inventing some object or item or whatever. So his son was able to be raised in, quote, polite society in 1800s America, right? And he became an artist, so he became known for doing portraits. So some rich white dude hires him to do a portrait of his daughter. He falls in love with the daughter. Dad's like, we ain't doing no interracial mixing here. And they take the portraiture guy and they torture him. They cut off his hand. They stick a hook in it. They cover him in honey. The bees kill him. He becomes Candyman.
It's a horrible thing to do to somebody who is...
just for love. That's why that first movie, then, if you watch it, it's very much like a gothic romance movie. He's not necessarily just a slasher killer. There's a undertone of romance in it that makes it very interesting. And then this movie picks that up in an interesting way. Not exactly that, but it moves it to the next level, and it's very, very cool. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Hold on. Don't you're supposed to cover someone in honey and let the ants kill you?
Yeah, not the bee. The
bees
bees will be like, great, you spilled everything I made.
These are 1800s racists, man. They don't know. They're idiots.
We don't know science. We just don't like black people.
If you wanted to attract bees, you cover someone in pollen, right? Not honey.
I was
they
just
make
thinking that.
the honey.
Yeah. The bees are going to be sad. They're going to be like,
you know what? All that stuff, it happens in fast voiceover. It's quick. All we got to know is that Candyman is here. He's got a hook on his hand. It's bad.
The bees are like, our honey's everywhere. This guy's got a hook for a hand. It's weird. I'm out of here.
And isn't the Candyman thing where you say Candyman in the mirror
5 times,
and then Candyman shows
wait a
up?
and then he
minute.
appears.
I feel like
Isn't that
Bloody Mary is a lot more efficient.
Bloody Mary's
She's
3 times.
She's
Yeah.
efficient.
Well, I
5
guess-
times is too many.
But how does Bloody Mary kill you? I guess it depends on how you want to go out. You want to go out by
Beetlejuice
hook?
is 3 times. Bloody Mary's 3 times. Candyman is 5 times.
Yeah. I feel like Candyman could have come in 3 times, right?
No. That's where he set himself apart.
Yeah, like I'll do 2 more.
Yeah.
All right.
2 more for good measure.
And also, why does he kill you for saying his name?
Why does any ghost want to kill you for?
I want to kill you guys.
Yeah.
You guys
Does
say
he
my
want to
name
get
all the time.
revenge on the people that did this to him?
He wants to be.
I like that you want logic in horror movies.
He didn't go for logic. What Candyman does want
How
is
am I going
he
to marry
wants to
this
be a
woman
myth.
now? You put a hook for her hand. I'm covered in honey.
Exactly. Well, he gives you the honey. He delivers it to you.
By the way,
he
this is
wants to
why
be the
Crystal
myth.
screams, you have no joy.
Yeah,
when I'm
you
asked-
can't just have fun with
Yeah.
that.
So
In
you're
your
asking the
defense,
question?
this does sound better than that Matt Damon hunk of crap.
Yeah, it has to be right.
Yeah, so like he has Tom's right. This guy's not coming back to get like a revenge on the dad.
No, because it's already like 60, 70 years later. Now he just haunts the neighborhood. And
that's
really,
sad.
then subtextually.
Well, I didn't do anything to you, Candyman. I just said your
Well,
name.
quit summoning him. He's trying to rest in peace.
Yeah, you're the one who summoned him. He didn't ask
Well,
him to
it's a
summon him.
kind of
You're
a
not resting. You're always in the mirror. right? Like you're
Also,
in.
it's in songs. You know, like it's Candyman. Like, oh look, hey, the Candyman's here. I don't want to accidentally say it.
According to Wikipedia, the Candyman is largely driven by a need to sustain his legacy, killing those who doubt his existence.
He wants to stay a myth. The whole idea is that he is a
That's fine.
stand-in
Stay a myth. I don't believe in you.
for the
Fine.
trauma of a neighborhood, for the generational trauma that gets passed down from people to people, like legends, urban legends get passed on like that. So that's what the Candyman is on a subtext level, on a non-fun actual answer level.
So he's mad at the people that are doubting his existence.
Yes.
Right.
So, but
He doesn't kill his believers. He chooses to murder the people that have called him out as like a hoax or
Yeah,
a
like,
fake.
I don't believe in Candyman.
Yeah.
I'll say his name 5 times in
Right.
the mirror.
so the people that
Oh, well, those
believe in
people
him
should
know.
be killed.
Yes.
I
Okay,
agree.
so because
Now
there's-
we're in.
Well, then I agree with Candyman.
Yes, you're in.
There-
You're in.
Because you're saying, don't say my name, I'll kill you. And then it's
Yeah.
like the
You
people are like,
trying,
I don't
bro.
believe in you.
Yeah.
I told you not to try me.
Yeah.
Also, you
It's
know,
like when I show up to heaven and then they're like, nah. Yeah, I'm like, I believe now. I see it.
I see it now.
Either
And
that.
you're like,
Jesus,
Candyman.
Jesus.
No, I'll probably be. I'll be like, I'm having a delusion right now. This, I'm having some sort of.
Came back to life for a second. It's just an oxygen bubble.
Yeah. Like I'm hallucinating. Obviously.
Also, why is he Candyman?
Because
Because of the honey? If they'd have covered him in like hummus, would he be Savory Man?
maybe he would have been. That would have been Salty Man.
Salty Man.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what are you excited about coming up this year
Yeah.
that's going to be released?
The big thing that I'm pumped for is this movie Dune that's coming out the end of October. It looks ridiculous. It just had a screening at the Venice Film Festival, which again, like Dan, you were saying earlier, people at film festivals now, they're like people in the desert, like you're giving them a glass of water. So of course,
I
like,
want
oh,
it.
this is amazing. But the reviews for Dune from the first screening, people were saying this is like cinema has been taken to the next level, like that kind
Like
of over,
like Avatar. When Avatar was released,
Yeah.
people were like crying.
like say this, like, oh, this is a next. Well,
Is this a remake though? Dunes are.
It's based on a book. It's all based on
Okay.
the same book. So there's been a version made in the early '80s that
I was
it's
hoping
not
it'd
very
be
good.
Doom or Duke Nukem.
Have you seen the Doom movie with
Yeah,
Dwayne Johnson?
I have.
Oh,
It's
I fell asleep in that. I was drunk. I was like, "This is so exciting!" Then I
it's
fell
real bad.
asleep.
So
It was
what is
bad.
Dune? What is it?
Dune is it's based on a book, and this is half of the book, and it's sort of like a allegory for conquest for colonizers. There's a planet in the universe that makes melange, which is a drug, and it does everything. It gives you like
Ravanage.
There's Ale House.
yeah, it's Ravanage.
You got a
yeah.
fountain.
You know,
they
the,
got
you know
the
the place,
Ravanage
we
over
go
there.
behind the Ravanage fountain and we cheat on our wives with this any whore that we find back
You
there.
get the
Yeah,
spice
yeah.
back
Yeah,
there.
Tom and I.
Just
So just,
waiting.
yeah, think Ravanage.
They got the Hilton Garden back there. You can check right in.
Then you can walk to.
It's
You can walk the bubble is.
It's the one planet that has this drug.
That's not very Ravanage of you.
I can smell the pulled pork from Ravanage.
Why'd you name it that?
Because it's fancy.
Every time I drive by, it
Because it's
makes me
fancy.
mad. I drive by and I go Ravanage.
I mean, Lee Road is right there. I know the other side of
the
I-4.
Lee Road
Yeah,
Hooker's
yeah.
Ghost is still on.
Yeah, it's right there. The booby trap was right up the road from there.
yeah, my
It
God.
wasn't that far away.
Club harem. When,
So it's just this planet that has this drug. It's the most valuable resource in the entire galaxy, and it's all about families fighting for control of this planet. It's like Game of Thrones, but in outer space.
yeah. So
It's-
you're gonna have Tyrion Lannister, but a little space helmet.
yeah, tiny helmet.
And is the planet like Earth-like in the fact
It's
that
like a big desert planet. It's arid. It's
Okay.
it's
And at
awful
least
to live
once per show, he'll turn to the camera and he'll be like, "That's what I do. I know things, and I drink Gleep Glop."
there. At least sci-fi
yeah.
version.
Yeah.
why is there so much hype about this movie?
Because the book, it's like a seminal piece of science fiction where when it came out in the late 60s, it won all these writing awards, and it's considered more than just sci-fi. It's just like a great book, a great piece of literature. They tried to make it in the 70s, it fell through. They tried to make it in the 80s, it was bad. They made a sci-fi channel miniseries in the early 2000s. It was cheap and terrible. So it's just like this holy grail of science fiction where no one has been able to crack the code of how to tell this in visual form. And now, based on the reviews that just came out from this film festival, someone just did it. The guy who did Arrival and Blade Runner 2049 and Sicario, he makes really good movies. He made this one, and everyone is very pumped for it.
Are there any other movies like that they've tried to do and they've failed, but it's an iconic premise and no one's ever done it right?
I'm sure there are. That's an interesting question.
That's a great question.
Yeah,
'Cause-
because especially books, right? You know, like people are always trying to make books and things. I'm surprised
Spawn.
no one's made
Spawn.
Spawn. They're trying right
Well,
now.
I'm trying to think
Jamie
of-
Foxx is
yeah.
trying to make a Spawn right
I'm
now.
trying to think
yeah.
of things that have failed before, but the premise everybody seems to love.
Absolutely,
Spawn
yeah.
comes to mind as one of the greatest failures because as a kid, there was no comic book cooler. I still have my issue number 1.
Yeah.
It's still sealed up and ready to go.
Yeah.
And I remember when the movie came out, people were like, "Oh," and just
It's
it
so
missed
bad.
the mark.
It's so bad, and they've been trying since to try to do it again. I think Judge Dredd was another one.
Yeah,
where the
that's
first
a
one was
good
bad,
one.
and then they remade it.
but
then people
still love the comic,
Yeah, yeah.
and the premise of it and everything.
yeah, they're still trying to do that. So I think
There's
now they're
got
trying
to
to
be
do a
way
TV
more.
version.
That's probably one of the better nerd questions you've ever asked.
That's a good
Mario
question.
Brothers movie.
No.
That might
If
be
you
the
ever cracked
king.
that code,
That's
forget
probably the
about it.
king.
Yeah.
That you might have hit the king because that
because-
was one of those people are so disappointed in. In fact, it's so bad bad that people don't like it.
Yeah, I like it for the novelty.
Me too, but
Yeah.
it's so bad.
Yeah, for the
It
tiny
is.
head Goombas and
yeah.
stuff.
We
We
Yeah,
don't
so
like that.
ridiculously
It's like
dumb.
it's not like Hobo with a shotgun is better.
Right.
yeah, because it's because Hobo with a Shotgun
It's purposely bad.
succeeded
Yes.
in what it set out to do.
It's
whereas
perfect.
Mario Brothers tried to do a thing and failed.
So
Yes.
bad.
Have
Yes.
you ever seen or remember in the 80s or early 90s?
Oh,
they-
garbage pail kids.
They came out with a Mario Brothers TV show.
Yeah, with Captain Lou Albano.
Captain
you
Lou
talked
Albano.
about this. Yeah.
My boys were watching. They stumbled on it.
It's
and
a Super Mario fun time.
Yeah.
It's called like Super
who's the name of
Mario
it?
Action Time or
Yeah, there was a live action
Yeah,
inter
it looks
between
like
the
Ron
cartoons.
yeah, it
Jeremy.
was like Power Up Fun Time or
Something like that.
It-
Yeah, totally geared towards
The
kids.
Super Mario Bros. Super Show.
That's
Yeah.
it.
It's
Super Mario
weird.
Bros.
It looks
Super
like-
Show.
I am not familiar with
Yeah,
this.
You ever
Super
seen that
Show.
one?
Ron Jeremy and Pat the Plumber. Because the Luigi is a weird looking dude.
He's like
Like-
he's a skinny because they
Yeah.
make him the skinny
All
guy,
right, I'm
right?
getting high and watching this.
Oh, yeah. And then they bring on weird guests, and it's bizarre. It's like as if they had no one that actually was a fan of Mario Brothers.
didn't know what it was.
It's like a bunch of old men, like Lou Albano.
Yeah, it's a
or
money
Albano
grab.
or-
Yeah.
And they just put together this thing, and like there was no Mario Brothers enthusiasts on the set, or like no one cared. So
They just had
they're
the
like,
costumes and the sound effects. Just roll the tape.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
This
there's
looks
crazy.
great.
It's horrible. It's so bad.
And
It's
your
good.
kids, your kids are watching it on YouTube or
Oh, they
something?
love it. I bet.
How did they come across it?
I think they came across on YouTube.
Great.
yeah, it's on
Crazy.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they were watching YouTube channel, and then they
So they
like
can push
watching
video game stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And it's so bizarre, but I remember it being out when I was a kid.
Yeah.
like and seeing it, and even when I was a kid, I was like, "This is horrible."
It's like Hulk Hogan's.
Who are these guys?
No, it's like Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestlers or whatever.
With
that
Cyndi
like-
Lauper?
yeah,
Yeah.
like that. Remember, like that was a horrible cartoon.
There was
Yeah.
the 80s run of cartoons where they just took anything that was remotely popular and made it for kids. Do you remember the Rambo cartoon?
I do.
They made a cartoon based on a movie about a PTSD Vietnam vet
I
blowing up
had
a
the
town.
action figures.
For kids.
Yeah, I had the
Yeah.
Rambo.
John Rambo is not for kids.
Yeah, I had the Rambo action figure.
sold that
I had
to
the
kids.
Commando action figure.
yeah.
Where you could bend his legs like he's falling out of the plane.
You mean like the Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
100%. I had
that's
all
amazing.
those.
That's
I wish I
amazing.
still had them. They probably were worth something now.
All you guys had guns, like toy guns, growing up.
A
Right?
little black cap gun that looked as real
Yeah.
as hell, man.
I mean, I guess I had a real gun if you count my BB gun
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
pellet
Yeah.
gun.
But I'm talking about like a bunch of plastic guns. Like I remember playing
Tons.
Cap
guns.
guns, yeah.
Specifically,
I had a box.
That was the number one go-to. Is like let's play guns.
It's like or cops or whatever.
I
Yeah.
had a cardboard box that I had written guns on the side of it
yeah.
that had in upwards of 17 to 20 plastic guns.
Yeah.
I had a box of guns.
You know,
Like,
your house gets broken into. Some guy steals that, takes it home. It's like, man, I thought I hit the jackpot.
this is live.
I remember I had like a black plastic replica AR with no red tip or anything.
No.
It just
No
like
tips,
a
no.
regular, like
Yeah.
life size. I mean, it was plastic light, but
Yeah.
it was
My
like
favorite were the ones that you pull the trigger and it would go.
Oh, yeah, it's just like a wind up thing. In
Yeah, there was something
yeah.
very satisfying about that. I had BB guns. I had rubber band guns.
Yeah, the ones with the sparks on the inside when you
Yeah,
pull the trigger.
Had a couple of those.
So let's talk Pixar and other movies like that.
Yeah, sure.
because every time a new Pixar movie or what's the other like a DreamWorks?
DreamWorks
There's
is
a-
big. Sony, what's theirs? Illumination is
Like-
it? The Minions.
It's their brand is so good and they've done so well that I automatically know it's going to be a good movie, right?
like baseline good.
yeah, like Luca came out.
Oh, that's such a fun little movie.
and it's just like
Easy watch, right?
yeah.
easy,
Good easy watch.
baseline, good,
Yep.
like good plot, good, whatever. It's
Like
just good.
even like the good dinosaurs. Like, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, my
it's
my
whatever.
sons are interested in watching it.
And it also makes me, if I can jump in here for a second, it also makes me feel like other movies stink in a weird way because this movie, no matter what, I come out of it, I'm like, that's good.
Yeah.
Like every single time I
Yeah.
come out of it, I'm like, that's good.
That's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
a lot of people feel about those Marvel movies. That even baseline for most of them.
That's what I hear.
It's fine. It's entertaining. I enjoyed that hour and a half to 2 hours. Like maybe it didn't change my world, Black Panther style, whatever. But it's still just
You
fine.
liked it, right,
there's
Luca?
There's like a
Yeah,
mark
yeah.
of quality there for sure that Pixar has.
Well, I liked it because my sons were interested in it. You know, it was like one of those things where we could all watch as
Sure,
a
yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Are there any new ones coming
The
out?
next Pixar one doesn't come out till 2022, and Disney has already publicly committed to that movie coming out in theaters without doing the day and date that they did for Soul and Luca. Both those movies, they didn't even do the $30 premiere access for those movies. They just dropped them straight on D+. And then all the Pixar animators, morale went down in Pixar because they're like, what, our work isn't worth it, isn't worth being put in theaters, or isn't...
come on.
They get,
Really? They have a morale meeting.
Yes,
It's like a cartoon.
Just do a good job every day.
They did a good job.
People are consuming it more probably than...
They don't see it that way. They see like we're not even worth the $30 like gate that you put on some of your
I
other
mean, I
movies
can
like
understand
Mulan
that, but they
and
should
Black
hear
Widow.
it from guys like me that I'm like, look, I'm not a movie theater guy, and I was really happy to be able to consume your stuff.
Plenty of people are happy to.
Yeah.
Plenty of people are happy to get it straight to their homes and stream it,
Yeah.
and they'll never miss a movie theater in their life ever again. But there's plenty of other people who do want that theater experience.
It's weird that you think that's just a that seems like a business thing. Okay, follow me here.
For streaming stuff?
Well, if I was Disney and I like maybe you didn't make as much as you could have through the theatrical release,
Sure.
And then you're gonna have a lot of people complain, obviously, because you gave the last two for free.
Yeah.
And so a good PR thing would be like, oh, the animators were, they felt sad that no one was paying for the...
We're putting it in theaters.
Yeah, that's BS.
So like respect the artists or something
Seriously,
like that?
That seems like
sure.
some business PR.
It could be.
Like maybe one guy, Fred...
are a happy place to work.
Yeah, sure. That's fallen.
You just justify
apart.
your way to now, instead of releasing it for free from people that already pay for Disney Plus, which I liked and appreciated. Like, okay, I pay. They give me a value.
Yeah.
Right? They gave me...
That's more than a value. When you're only paying $6 a month and they drop a Pixar
That's
movie,
what I
Yeah,
thought.
so-
I was
yeah,
like,
that's a
damn.
huge value.
Yeah,
Dude, I
that's
got-
like 6 free months of Disney.
Yeah.
I got
that's big.
Soul and Luca, two really quality films for
Man,
free.
that Soul's so good.
So
I
now
can't
you're going to
take
make me
Soul's
pay for it, and then you're going to throw all the animators are sad that you didn't pay for it. I'm like, BS!
Yeah,
You're sad. Because of money. You're a greedy corporation. That's it, though, right?
Yeah, if theaters are healthy, and again, we can get families to commit going back to theaters, then a Pixar movie in theaters will make a ton of money. But if they put out Soul Christmas 2020, it would have essentially bombed by their metrics, would have made no money, and they would have lost money probably on marketing. So that's for sure. It is 100% about the money and the dollars, and never about anyone's feelings when it comes to this stuff. Like Emma Stone just had they got her to sign up for Cruella 2, and apparently they gave her all sorts of like concessions for points on streaming. If they put out Cruella 2 on Disney Plus, she's gonna get a cut of that.
Yeah, they screwed her on the first one.
Yo, she got mad, and the rumor after she saw the lawsuit, the Scarlett Johansson one, she was like, maybe I'll get in my own lawsuit. And Disney was like, no, we're cutting this off now.
Here, have this.
Take this. And then the word around the campfire in Hollywood is that will not be the case going forward. People should not expect getting back-end points on their streaming stuff. Like, they may get paid off a flat fee, but Emma Stone is getting some sweet deal on Cruella 2 to avoid the lawsuit, because Disney, they're looking bad these last few couple
not
months.
good at all.
Yeah. Well, the whole industry's changing, and they don't know exactly how to do it.
And they switched over CEOs during this tough time.
That's a mess.
Bob Iger would have handled this all. I mean, he's been a business genius for the last decade.
Isn't
or
he still
whatever.
consulting? I'm surprised he didn't.
The word is that he has stepped back and let Bob Chapek just totally shoot himself in
It
the
feels
foot
like
with all this
that.
stuff.
It
Yeah.
feels like that because Iger usually,
Certainly
no
does.
matter what,
Yeah.
slips in there and it's like, guys, this is going to be a bad look for everybody.
Yep.
You do that a lot. You're very good about like, well, regardless, we have to do something, so let's try to manage the
damage control.
Sure, yeah.
The word is
Doesn't look like
he
that.
stepped back to make Chapek look bad, and then Kevin Feige, who runs Marvel, he is mad. He doesn't want any Marvel movie to come out on streaming at
Feige!
all. With the Scarlett Johansson thing, that now ends any sort of relationship Marvel's gonna have with Scarlett Johansson for a while. They could always bring any of these characters back for anything, not Black
now.
Widow, not for
Yeah.
a while, because that has soured over there.
Chris, plug your podcast.
Cinema Crespediso is the show. You can go to patreon.com/Crespediso for new shows every Friday, and then the free show is available on pftmedia.com. We got some new shows on PFT Media. We got the education show, What a Day, Kids. You actually interviewed the
we
host.
did.
Yeah.
We got a new music show called Tenor and Toneless. That's like an opera-based show.
Sweet.
That's gonna be. We're trying to just expand, and
I love it.
For all the poo and pee jokes, we got to have a little bit of like opera in there. So I'll balance that stuff out. Try to-
Opera always balances poo and pee.
I think so. That's how I live my life. Opera this side, poo and pee on this side.
Yeah, man.
Well, Chris, come in next month and let's talk some more movies.
Let's do it.
Good to see seeing
too
you.
long.
We'll
Thanks,
take a
appreciate
break. Come
Yeah.
back with more A Corporate. Oh,
We're done.
Bye bye.
what was that?
My God.
What the hell was that? I
like
said
a sigh.
3, 2, 1, and you
Yeah, with the you did like a old man
It was like
bent
your-
over to tie his shoes.
It was
or
like
something.
it's like the gaskets in your knees giving off gas or something.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I'm Dan.
EJ's here. Samantha's
Go on,
here.
guys.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Nerds. Nerds. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. How you doing, EJ?
I'm excited. Football's starting on Thursday. How about
Yeah.
you guys?
Yeah, man. It is football time.
It seems like I'm more excited about this season because last season there were so many unknowns and everybody's like, "Oh, they're gonna cancel it. They're gonna."
No, I really, you're that excited this season? I'm excited, but I'm scared because I don't feel. I think Tom Brady might be right on this one, and I feel like because Brady's real big on that COVID protocol and forfeiture of games is going to be a big deal. I think he's right.
Yeah.
I think he's right.
I don't see. I mean, it can't be any worse than last year.
They're already saying it's worse than last year because now they're not willing to move games, right?
Yeah.
Last year they were willing to. Hey, this is new. We don't know what we're doing. Let's move this one to this one. Let's move this one to that one.
Restrict your
Yeah,
protocol.
Now they're
Vaccines
saying
now.
no. They're saying we're not moving it. If you're not vaccinated, whatever, that's your business. But if you forfeit, you forfeit. I think it's going to happen.
I would bet against them forfeiting games. And I think a lot of that is hype, and a lot of that is them telling and trying to pressure players to get vaccinated.
Like,
because
for
that's
instance,
been a problem.
Jay in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, he said 8 Cowboys already in protocol now, and they only had 5 all of last year.
Yeah, but the COVID protocol doesn't mean they have COVID. It means maybe they're exposed to someone. They have to, there's a lot of different. And
But that could still have you forfeit a game, could it not?
I don't know what the rules are.
I think it could. I think if you
Well,
have
let's
enough.
ask our expert from Nerd Jock.
I never rely on him.
I would bet anybody right now that they do not forfeit a game. If they made it through the entire last
So
year.
you're saying there will be no forfeited games this entire season. I'll take
Yes.
that bet. How much you want to put on it? $1,000. There'll
I'll
be a
take one.
forfeited
I
game.
think there's gonna be at least one.
Yep,
for sure.
$1,000 will be at
a
least
moved
one.
game or a game that
They already said they're not going to
Cancel.
move them.
No, you automatically get a forfeit. It's automatic forfeit if they try to move it.
So no move. So if there's enough players that have COVID, I don't even know what. Because here's the thing: last year they played Denver. Was it Denver that played with a running back or a wide receiver as a
The
quarterback?
one
It
where
was
they
Denver.
told him when
It
he was on the field, you right?
Denver played an entire game with a quarterback that was a wide receiver. And so that tells me that they'll try to push past whatever happens to try to play a game, and for them to forfeit, I'll bet you $1,000.
All
They have a
right.
53-man
Yeah.
roster.
That's a
and
bad
We need a
I
big
think
boy
if it
bet
goes
on the show.
below
It'll make it fun. And
45,
regardless,
they got a forfeit.
it's company money. It's fine.
Well, that's not making it
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
It makes it more
I'll
fun.
use my own money, but I'm just saying if I lose, I'm using company money.
Well,
Because that's what you do all the time.
Well, I want you.
No
bet
scenario.
all these people around Orlando, and it always ends up coming out of the old PayPals. I see it.
Yeah. But you see the money I win back at the PayPal?
No, I never see any of that.
Well, it's gonna happen eventually.
We're like a whole vaudeville team now. I was like, I know where this is going. I know where this is going.
Anyway, I'm excited.
Yeah,
this
I'll do
year.
it with my own money just for fun.
Yeah.
We need a fun bet, and I think
Yeah.
that I do think this is going to come into play because it's just too sticky. It's weird.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't.
let's get this out of the way. Miami got stomped by Alabama.
That was
the
bad.
First game of the season. It was embarrassing. They were 27-0. I turned it off, especially because they pulled out the turnover chain on a turnover that got overturned, which just made me mad.
What ended up being like 40-something to 13 or like
44-13. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
bad.
it was
like
bad.
Miami dropped out of the ranking. I think they were ranked 14 going into the game, and now they're not even in the top 25.
Yeah, I mean, I've saw talking about gambling because it's the only thing I know about. I saw a lot of people winning money gambling on college football, and it seemed like there was an edge, and the lines weren't exactly tightened up, and they haven't.
This is when you like it, right? In this like hunting season for gamblers.
Well, yeah, I don't know about college football enough for me to bet on it, but
I should have told you to bet on Alabama for this week for sure.
I don't know what the line was, but it seemed like from what I saw and from what people were texting me, like Matt and some other gamblers, they were all winning because it just seemed like the lines were a little bit off. I don't know if it was because they didn't have enough to go off of because of last year. Now there's people in the stands, and that's a little different. I mean, there's some players
a lot different.
that didn't even play last year. So there's like a lot of different things that are happening that are causing like not the standard.
Yeah, it did seem funny because now I pay attention to more of that stuff just because I know you use it as a hobby. And it's funny because I did see a lot of guys that are like, did really well on this, all these new college games like pop up on my feed. And I was like, I wonder if this is a good time because it's like the beginning and the
new,
end.
Yeah.
It's like those are like better, right?
After a while, things start tightening up where you're like, okay, it's like the first week of any sport is the best time to gamble
Lots
because
of missed tackles,
and you're seeing how good teams are, and then in the middle of the year, towards the end, it becomes real tight where they've already baked everything into the line, so they get pretty accurate, but. Now it's good time. But what other college upsets happened?
Well, I got a story for you guys that you'll enjoy. Mercer was playing Point, which is Division II schools in Georgia, and it's the Mercer Bears versus the Point Skyhawks. And Mercer stomped the Point Skyhawks, scoring 10 touchdowns and 9 extra points.
Okay,
but they missed their last extra point to make it 69-0. And supposedly the kicker missed on purpose to keep it 69.
All right. I like I see you in maturity.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do like it.
Yeah, I like that. You got to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, but this is the team that plays Alabama next week. Mercer plays Alabama this weekend coming up.
And is Mercer considered a decent school? I mean, like anybody
they're upper tier Division II, but like when they play like an FCS school, they're gonna get stomped.
Right.
So Alabama's gonna probably hang like 75 on these.
That's why and look, I'm not a college football guy, but when everybody was like, "Did you see Miami got beat by Alabama?" I'm like, "Yeah." What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like because I'm just like, yeah, of course they did, because everybody gets beat by Alabama, right?
Is there EJ, you tell me, you know more when it comes to college, where it seems like every year, Alabama's quarterback gets drafted to the NFL because they do so well, obviously, and the team does.
Yeah, 3 of their quarterbacks are starting this weekend. 4 of the quarterbacks.
And but
that's cool.
Is there any disadvantage from that in the fact that I don't know, they have such a good team and they have so like good wide receivers and an offensive line and stuff like that you can make a good or even a decent quarterback look awesome because your offensive line and your wide receivers are so good.
It would depend on your talent and what you need as an individual at that point then, right? Because you might be better suited to go to a different school so you could be better, right?
Well, I'm just saying if there's
Are you talking about a Ken Dorsey scenario where all the athletes around him are like superior athletes? And Ken Dorsey's a good game manager, so he looked really good throwing to Andre Johnson, Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, Jeremy Shockey, etc.
Yeah,
so they could be he could be a good quarterback, but also it could be the system he's in.
That's all I'm saying is like Patrick Mahomes, no one was talking about him in college really, at least like not the overwhelming, because the spotlight's always on the Alabama QB, and obviously, they win a national championship and everybody's like, oh, this guy's number 1 pick or up there, and then he gets to the NFL, may or may not do well. It's all kind of a crapshoot, but it seems like if you have the best offensive line and the best wide receivers and the best coaching and all the players are good around you, it's going to make you look good.
Yeah, you shine.
And I wonder if that's going to start hurting your Alabama quarterbacks as far as the NFL being like, well, of course you look good. everybody on your team is good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe another quarterback that's not on the best team is going to be better.
Well, there was a time when the same thing would have been said for Miami, right? And that's not a diss, but knowing that EJ play. I mean, there are certain teams that just have a certain pedigree.
Yeah.
And Miami's one of those teams. And in the '90s, you throw around Miami, and you're like, oh yeah, and like
or
EJ
Florida State.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, you played for Florida State at that time? Oh my God. Well, of course you're great.
Yeah.
Of course they lost because that's the best team. Alabama's always been the best.
Yeah, I guess.
Alabama keeps their culture so they don't get big heads. Like you have to stick in with Saban has it dialed in, making sure that each player is for the team, not just for myself. And I think that's the problem with Miami. Miami's too. We want to get the turnover chain or stupid rings to scoring a touchdown.
Right.
Alabama's like, we want a team win, not an individual win.
Gotcha.
Well, but you're also attracting the best players because you've had such a dominant winning streak and you won so many titles that all the best players want to go to you.
Guarantee success. Yeah.
So it's almost not fair, and to a certain extent, I know other colleges have gone through this, and they go through like drought years, and they lose like their star players and have to rebuild.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like that for Alabama, because if you keep just getting the best out of the entire country, then you're always going to have a chance to be a winning team.
Point, right? I mean, like when tell me the last time you saw them and you were like, they're not that good. I mean, I couldn't tell you.
Well,
how many years ago would it have been? 20?
It was before Saban, for
10?
sure.
Yeah.
Well, they got on probation. Like, I think it was in 2002, 2003, they were on probation. So that's probably the years they were kind of weak.
All right, next story, EJ.
Let's talk about the Texans picked their starter for the upcoming season. They took Tyrod Taylor, even though Deshaun Watson's still on their roster. You see this?
Yeah.
I mean, don't they kind of have to, because it's just that story's too
it's still bad, and like Miami might be trading for him, which is crazy.
I still don't think that's going to happen, right?
I don't think so. There's not enough like reward if it fails. Like if he gets in trouble for the whole lawsuits and the legal stuff, Miami loses so much.
It's just the story is so big and gross and bad.
EJ, they're not just crossing their fingers and we're like, I hope this works out. They have paid attorneys that are investigating to see what there's private eyes. I mean, there's
it's not like
we're talking about $1 billion.
I don't care.
Yeah, like for sure they're looking at like, all right, because I've heard people talk about this before. If there's no criminal charges, right? The NFL doesn't give a damn, right? First of all,
we've learned that. We talked about this last week.
Yeah. They don't care if they can get away with.
They have no moral compass.
No, and it has to be super egregious, and they'll probably weigh it out and be like, all right, we'll give some time. There's no criminal charges. We'll let Deshaun Watson and his legal team start paying off people, right? Because that's what they do. They start paying off certain, and then
hopefully the sand will settle just a little bit. If that doesn't work, get LeVar Burton
and make sure they'll put a private eye investigators or whatever to make sure there's going to be no other cases that pop up that are criminal. You know what I'm saying?
What else have you done?
Yeah, they'll vet it. They'll interview him. Yeah, they'll see. And
you
make
don't
sure.
Do anything.
They'll make sure he never even drives past a massage parlor.
Give me your cell phone.
And then they'll weigh it out and be like, we wanted one of the best quarterbacks that's played the game in the past 10 years to play with us.
That didn't peak.
Right? No. He's never been on a real good team before.
He hasn't.
Although
I don't want him on the Falcons.
Why not?
I don't want a headache. I don't want to.
What headache?
No, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to root for that. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to root for that, and my wife's like, and I'm like, he scored. I'm like, it's awesome. I don't want to do that. It's just not fun. I don't want to do that.
If he can win the Dolphins a Super Bowl, I'm willing to turn a blind eye. I'm like, what did you learn?
A lot of people are.
Did you learn your lesson? Okay, get out there, win me a Super Bowl.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to root for that. It's just sticky. Or like Vic was bad enough. Like you see all those jerseys now, and like we're kind of okay with him. And then I think back to like electrocuting dogs, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't want that.
Yeah. I don't even know. I can't even talk about what he
clean. Give me the what's his name from WWE that goes and he's not
John
even squeaky.
Cena?
Yeah, he's not even squeaky clean. Apologizing to China and everything. I'm just saying. Yeah. I want the good squeaky clean. Who's the squeakiest clean guy in the NFL?
Trevor Lawrence probably is pretty squeaky clean.
Yeah,
he
because
is.
Even though he lost that bet, he had to wear Georgia stuff to the first game.
Oh, shucks. This is horrible.
yeah, they've been grooming him to be in the NFL since he was 10. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to let him do anything.
Yeah, Matt Ryan is pretty squeaky clean. Thank you, Ghost. I forgot. But I have a tendency to block old big teeth out.
Tom Brady, Tom Brady's a football nerd. I mean, I've never even heard one bad thing about Tom
there
Brady.
was
Did
that
he?
one thing
No,
where
he
he
left his
threw his
girlfriend when she
daughter
was
off on the
pregnant, right?
waterfall.
What's that?
No, that's fine. He threw his
And
daughter
then he
in
said
there.
he got, like, and we all knew that, but when he was on the thing and tossing the thing around, he got COVID.
Oh, did he get COVID?
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
did.
know
He
that.
when it came out and said he got COVID.
That's
after
fine.
that.
Yeah, after
He,
that.
he played the whole season without
Yeah.
getting it, right?
Yeah, drinking
Now's the time to
margaritas,
get it, right? After
open
the
mouth
Super Bowl.
kissing Gronk. You probably got it from Gronk.
Tebow was, I guess, kind of squeaky clean, or at least he portrayed that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I want. I
But
don't
he
want
had-
the massage stories.
But he had all the the attention you don't want, which is off the field attention. Or like, look at he's kneeling down. Like everybody was like they either loved it or hated Tebow. He's
Oh,
polarizing.
Tebowing. Oh, God.
I hate that he loves God. I love that he loves God. You know,
So-
like, everybody's mad.
He was a distraction. That's why Tebow could be still playing in the NFL as a practice squad or maybe a backup QB if there wasn't all the drama that came with Tebow and the distraction. No
He's a
team
good
wants
athlete.
it.
Yeah, but who wants that?
No team wants the distraction of that where you start like your QB starts doing bad. They start chanting Tebow in the stand. You know what I'm saying? It's like not gonna be good for you. What's the next story, EJ?
Okay, next story. Did you see the UNC dad trying to fight the whole Virginia Tech student section? Did you see that video?
What?
No. Is this where is this at?
bad.
It's another fight in the stands. And I know that I like note everyone thinks this is a new thing, but it's been happening for a long time. I have another story about old football. Remember how we used to talk about the All-Stars from college playing it was the best college team versus the worst NFL team, if that was a real game?
Yes.
That really did happen. I was doing research. Chicago used to have a charity game where the All-Stars of college would play the NFL champions. They did it from like 34 to 76. And the last game is crazy.
So this was all the All-Stars from college playing the Super Bowl winning team?
The Super Bowl winning team. It was
This
the
dumb old
76
man got
Steelers.
his ass beat.
Hold on.
They
Let me
got destroyed. And it was like during a torrential downpour, and there was like 18 inches worth of water on the field in Chicago at Soldier Field. And like fans were jumping onto the field and doing like slides, like headfirst slides. And then they tore down. I think there might be cursing, so just be ready to edit probably. But look at this guy's
Sam,
eyes.
you okay with
he's
it if
ready
I'm
to
okay
go.
with it?
Yeah, I didn't get to hear it, but
right.
All right,
They're for sure
yeah,
cursing.
We'll let it roll.
No,
Oh,
I like how
cursing.
they've like we've punched this old man, but no cursing. Like of course.
They threw
He-
beer at him. That's what started this whole fight.
Okay, here we
Again.
go. Oh, he's going. He just punches that guy right in the face.
And then he disappeared.
and then there's a cop right there who's like, "Hey guys, let's take it easy."
All right. Oh wow, they're getting him good.
Oh yeah, they got him on the ground. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he got a good first punch
He
in.
did
for
get
the
a
old
good
man.
punch,
He
yeah.
Like
did.
it's not that embarrassing. Like if I was that old man, like
Because
because
he kind of fell in, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they didn't really do much, and I'm sure he didn't get as hurt as bad. That first kid he hit is like, that first kid he
went
hit
down.
is bad.
He went down.
so
They said that the co-eds were throwing glass shooter bottles, beer cans, and water on people, on the fans below them.
I could see
And
that.
a little girl was hit in the head with a can. So this guy was mad.
so
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
When
But there
you-
were
Those kids
cops there.
deserve
Tell the
to be beat up.
cops. I don't know.
You got to go tell security and be like, hey, kid.
Because what do you think you're going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I guess
Make
hit
it
one
worse.
kid and then you
They-
get beat up in front of your
You
grandkids.
just make it worse.
I
You go
remember
and make it worse.
when we used to get tickets to the Magic all the time. I think were they in the playoffs when they played Miami in the playoffs? I think you may have gone to this game, but Crystal went with me and she was going to wear her Miami Heat jersey.
I remember this.
And I told her, I was like, nah, don't wear that. because I was like,
You're just making yourself a target.
you don't really like Miami Heat that much. I mean, like, you're from Miami, so you're like, but you don't know basketball. You don't give a damn, right? You're just wearing it because you want to be fun and show up at the game.
I'm from this area.
Yeah. So it's like, so if you're taking the whole like pride in the fact that this is your team and you're a fan of them, so you're going to show it off. You're taking that out of the equation, then all you're asking for is potential trouble if you show up at a different team's home field or court or whatever in the opposing team's jersey, because someone may say something to you. And are you just going to laugh it off? Or are you going to say something back? Because that's how things escalate. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm playing all this out of my head. Now, if you're a diehard fan and you don't give a damn, then that's one thing.
Well, then you would normally, I would think, if you're diehard, you're either going to go one of two ways. And that's either they say anything you're going to fight, or normally, I think most of those guys laugh it off. Right? If you're diehard, you're like, it's fine.
From what I've seen before, when I show up when we used to watch games, they're people that show up with the opposing team's jersey they're usually okay with someone giving them some S. And being like,
stick. Give a little stick.
You give a stick back and forth or whatever, you say some stuff. But for whatever reason, and maybe they're just showing it more, and it's just like what's in the news, so we see it more. But there's been all these fights in the stands where, we talk about one each week, and I see them multiple times on the internet. But they must have been always happening.
I think you're
always
right.
Happening.
And
it's been happening when I was in school. Like, I remember a guy wore a Florida jersey to a Florida State Miami game, and he got beat up by both sides.
Dude, there's some.
So dumb.
There are some.
I was like, "What are you doing?"
Dude, don't go to like an Eagles game wearing the opposing. There's certain.
Well, no, that's what Ghost just said.
Eagles fans will spit in your hair.
Eagles fans are different.
They threw batteries at Santa Claus.
Yeah, they're different people. But Ghost Manubal in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomandDanLive. You can watch our live stream every Monday through Friday. He says, I regularly attend Bucks and Falcons games and wear my Falcons jersey. I will never go to New Orleans and do that because I will inevitably get into a conflict regardless of the outcome of the game. Yeah, there's just certain rivalries that, you're looking for trouble.
But then there's certain stadiums you can go to that don't give a damn, like Miami, like not the college, but you go to Miami Dolphins game, no one cares. Even the people wearing Dolphins jerseys don't care. They're like, I don't know.
I disagree with you.
Really?
I disagree. I've seen them fight Patriot fans and Bills fans every time I went there.
They do hate the Bills.
Depends on where you go. If you're in the upper deck or whatever, where, if you go down, because there's, just like soccer, there are certain sections that are like supporter sections, like even in the NFL. And same thing with like
Well, they
MLS.
wouldn't let you in there because it's policed by the club and by also the supporters.
In soccer, not in NFL.
In soccer, they actually have the culture, I feel like, correct, because they look, we want this to be fun for us and fun for you guys. And if you're a diehard supporter of, let's say, Inter Miami, there's no way in hell you're going in there. You can't even get a ticket. You're not allowed.
No, yeah. If they see you wearing another jersey, they'll escort you out of there.
100% if you do the old hoodwink where you put it underneath your shirt or your jacket. You're not allowed to do that.
But most of these fights haven't been like because of opposing teams. Most of it's just drunk, start arguing.
Yeah,
fight.
and if you don't engage normally, because Sam said it even in the chat room, Sam was mentioning how this angers her because you should be able to wear whatever you want to any game and it be safe. And she's right.
Yeah.
Well,
she's right.
It's up to you to not let the comments or someone saying something.
Don't escalate it.
Now, if someone throws beer on you or whatever.
Like what happened to this guy.
You got to go get a cop. You were right. Your opening play is don't go up there. Okay, if a little girl, if I'm there with my daughter, this could happen. I could be in Orlando City match with my daughter and she gets hit in the head with a beer cup or something. I would not march up there and fight a bunch of guys in this. That's stupid. I would go to security and say, hey, this is...
But then you're also then teaching your child that that's the way to resolve the issue is with violence, and that's not a good lesson either. The cops are there for a reason.
If Tommy or Max got hit in the head with a beer can, I'm walking up like this old man. And the problem is... how do I know who threw it?
Exactly. They can just swing a punch at everybody?
You asked them.
All right, who threw that?
All right, quiet down. No cheering. Don't even look at the plays right now. Look at me. You look at me.
Yeah, I doubt the person that threw it would admit it. So then I feel like I'm just punching some random
Or
guy.
they all admit it. That's what we used to do. Which one of you did it? And they all raise their hands and you're like,
well, then I'll just
damn
punch
it.
one of you.
I'm
Like,
focused.
if you raise your hand, you're going to punch
then
before
you're
you.
gonna get
And then
more
you go to
punch.
jail.
Oh, I know. I'm saying it's not rational.
Okay.
It's stupid, but
But you're going to do it anyway. All right.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd do it, though. He hates conflict. It's what he thinks he
But if
wants
they
to do
hit
because
if they knock little Tommy's
If they hit
glasses off,
Tommy or Max,
I
think
don't.
Tommy-
Yeah.
I honestly
I'll go
can't,
rage, yeah.
I can't see him do it. I can't see a beer can coming down and hitting. I can see you getting the rage inside, but then I see you sitting down and your hand.
no,
shaking.
if I turn around but I'd have to see who did it because the only one that deserves a punch is the guy that threw it. I can't just punch a random person and make myself feel better because why would I do that? That
Right.
person could have
they
not
were
done
just
anything.
as innocent as Tommy.
Yeah. So I have to punch the person that did it. But I will punch them. Like if you hit my son with
I like
some
that.
garbage, you're getting a punch.
Okay, I like
And I don't mind going to jail for that.
You probably wouldn't. You probably just get
Unless
detained for a
hold
little
on,
while.
intention matters. Was it an accident? Did he intend to
Well,
throw
he's
it?
throwing it at you.
Oh, no, still a punch.
Okay.
The intention matters. If they did it by accident, no punch.
Okay.
If they did it and they were trying to throw it and hit someone else, no punch. If they were trying to hit me, yeah, because then it's like
Okay.
What if your kid starts bleeding from it?
punch.
So there's a whole man. You got to run these numbers.
Punch, no
Yeah,
punch.
I run them
Punch,
out.
He's got to
punch.
run these
I
numbers.
run all the
I mean,
numbers.
this
Do
is
the
a
punch
lot.
math.
This is a lot of punch math
Yeah.
to do to realize you're like a kid and he didn't intend to hit it, but there is blood. Punch. It's a punch. Definitely a punch.
Yeah.
It's a lot of math to do. What else you got? Should we
All right,
nerd?
well, let's go over to nerd stuff.
All right.
All right, let's talk about Ted Lasso. Have you guys heard
Well,
the
first
rumor
of all,
that,
you should
Brad
say the name of the
Goldstein
show
is a
correct if
CGI
you're going to.
character?
Okay, hold on. First of all, if you're going to report on the show, you should say the title of the show correct. It's not Ted Lasso. It's Ted Lasso.
Yeah, like lasso, like you're lassoing a.
Yeah.
You know,
Like I wish I had a lasso around your neck right now, and I was pulling on it hard.
But have you heard that rumor that he's a CGI character and he's not even real?
What do you get? What are you going to Acid Jesse's blog now?
So I saw this on
Like, he had to
Facebook.
prove that he's real by doing things.
I saw this on Facebook, and I didn't even click on it because it was so stupid. Because
Could you imagine trying to prove that you're a real person and not a CGI character? Have you ever thought of that scenario?
No,
Like, how would you prove yourself real?
I get way too high to think of
punch
things
you in the
like that.
face.
There's also, explain to me the theory.
That he's just a CGI character. He's not even a real person. They just generated him from like CGI, so he's on the show, but he's not a real person. They're not even paying an actor, is the theory.
But that's the dumbest theory ever because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of interviews with
Jason Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah. He's
There's
an
no-
It's
actor.
not Jason Sudeikis, it's Brett Goldstein is the guy they're talking about.
So the theory. Well, hold on.
I think you're screwing this all up.
Yeah, Brett Goldstein.
Brett Goldstein, he's not Jason Sudeikis. It's the other guy on the show. I haven't watched. I've only watched one episode.
Why are you
So-
reporting on something you don't understand? This is the problem with news in America.
You
Oh my
said-
God.
See Samantha's reaction while I'm doing this. It kind of makes me happy.
Oh, you're talking about the.
I'm trying to actually
the
read
for-
and research what the hell you're talking
You're
about.
not talking about Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis. You're talking about the
The
character.
conspiracy theory is that Brett Goldstein, who plays Roy Kent
Roy
on Ted
Kent.
Lasso, is not
Okay.
actually real, but rather created using computer graphics, is out there for the internet. That's who it is. Roy Kent
So
on Ted Lasso.
The actor, so they're saying that this is just. It doesn't look. We don't even have CGI
yeah.
that looks that good.
And there's a real man. He does podcast interviews talking about creating the character of Roy Kent. How is this even a thing?
I don't know.
Do people just get
because it's your show?
Do people just want to start believing in what they want to believe? Is that where
no
we're
one.
at?
No, you know what it is. No one even believes this. This is just a.
Somebody on Reddit just made a dumb fan theory.
Yeah, it's-
he said
Yeah, it's
he
real dumb.
he started watching the pilot. I'm on the scene where Roy is called into Ted's office. Am I crazy, or does he look like a complete CGI character? And then people started commenting
You're
on
crazy.
it.
You're stupid and crazy.
They say he glows off the screen like a Halo character in his movements.
Oh, you mean like he was lit by a giant light on a movie set? These people are idiots.
Well, this is just. I think a lot of this is kind of like the flat earthers or whatever. It starts and they it's kind of like trolling. You start trolling with your idea, and then people are like us get mad or like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, here's the evidence. And you start, you build the theory first, then you backlog the evidence, and you go and try to pick out the things that work for your story, even though that this is an actor and there's proof that he exists.
Correct.
and they're like everybody in the set and like they don't care about it. It's just like flat Earth. The Earth is not flat, 100%.
It angers me. This makes me mad. It's so much wasted time.
We have millions and millions of pieces of evidence to prove it. It just the flat earthers pick and choose their things.
Okay, so
and not pay attention to the actual
I'm
reality.
a huge fan of arguing for the sake of arguing, and what I mean by that is fun stuff. Like if we're kicking around our favorite popcorn flavors or something, or best no effects song on any album or something like that. That's fun. But it seems like now everybody's new hobby is debating things that we already know are absolutely not real.
But I guess that's fun for them. Like it's like trolling. It's kind of like a trolling.
I love a good conspiracy theory, but
It's more of a
some
waste
of
of
them are
time,
just like,
right?
yeah.
To me, it's a waste of time. It's not like that you're really trolling because nobody really believes it. People would have to really believe it in order for it to be a good troll. Right?
Not necessarily. The flat earthers and the birds aren't real people and like all these ridiculous, these stupid things exist. And now there are probably some people that legitimately believe it. They're stupid or crazy or whatever, but it's out there. And I think the vast majority of the people don't believe it, but just enjoy talking about it, or like it's like a version of trolling. What do you get out of trolling? Like when you troll people online, it's like this is the same version.
Is like long form trolling?
No, it's like conspiracy theory trolling, and the fact that you're like, hey, you're putting out this ridiculous conspiracy theory, and then
to get people's mad reactions and argue with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's fun for them.
Yeah, just being a contrarian, just for that sake.
So then all the people
so
are
you're
like,
my daughter at 6 years old.
yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
There's
a lot of people that haven't grown up. Believe me.
And like they. Because how we get mad, we're like, what are you talking about? There's an actor. This is so stupid.
He's a real guy.
That's what they like, is like getting us pissed off.
I'm not pissed off. It makes me think you're stupid.
Yeah.
It's less of being pissed off. It's more of a, I just feel like you have, like, imagine if you took that energy
you got to get a hobby,
and
man.
you created something on your own. You might do something.
That's their hobby, wasting your time. That's their hobby.
You might do something amazing, though.
Or something. Like this seems like a nothing.
That's where
you're wasting your life.
Yeah, it's okay. Next.
Okay, I went and saw Shang-Chi on Thursday. Did you guys get a chance to see this?
No.
But
it broke a bunch of records.
Crespo, and ruined all the movie stuff. So
what's the official name?
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, but it's like Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings or something.
Yep, that's correct. Yes.
Which always made me long for the days when you would have made an ill-fated Tiffany joke.
What's the plot in this? What is it?
Basically, the Mandarin who in Iron Man 3 was played by Ben Kingsley. It's the real Mandarin, and he was not. God, it's hard to describe this without you guys seeing the movies. I know, Samantha. Sorry. They made a fake Mandarin for Iron Man 3, and he was basically just a actor doing it. And then this guy,
CGI.
they based him off a real Warrior King that used
a Mandarin?
the 10 rings.
Yeah, EJ, you are horrible at explaining
you
what
really
movies are. Like,
you're really bad.
I feel like
I'm sorry. I'm used to knowing people know the story and then like trying to explain.
But that's not
the story
reporting
that they
news.
haven't-
Most newscasters don't show up and go, I think you guys already
You guys
know what's
know
going
this,
on.
right?
Do you have any questions? Like, that's not how they do it.
Yeah.
That's not
Like, you
reporting
can't-
the segment of the goddamn news.
you can't describe what the hell the plot of the movie is. I feel like I can easily look at it. Like if Dan just brought it up, I'll look at the picture
Yeah, I'm like,
and
it's
I'll
a
tell
karate-
you.
it's a Kung Fu Man.
Kung Fu movie.
Okay.
Every Kung Fu movie, he has a bad dad that he fights against, and he goes to a sacred city and fights demons. That's the plot of the movie.
Is it a cartoon? Is it live action?
Live action,
Live
yes.
action,
Aquafina's in it, and I can't give anyone else because it'll give away some plot points, so I don't want to give too much away because everyone will get mad if I spoil the movie.
Yeah,
for them.
don't spoil it. We've done enough spoiling with your bit.
Well, I think the trailer of the movie's not spoiling it, right? Like,
no, but it's just like Kung Fu. Somebody in the chat room said Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon meets Marvel Universe Kung Fu movie.
Okay,
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all I needed to hear.
Example of it.
give that guy EJ's job.
Wait, who said that?
Who is it? Who?
Okay, hold on. Now, I'm going to give
How
credit.
much you pay him, then?
I'm going to give
You pay him an
credit. Grady
exposure.
season.
Okay, Grady season. Do you want to do Nerd
Next
Jock?
week, it's you, Grady. It's
It
all
doesn't
you.
even matter if you played college football. That's stupid anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't. What does that even make a difference? Anyway,
The
next
Gravy
story.
with Grady.
Next story. Okay, we're gonna talk about Aquaman 2 and the Lost Kingdom. Have you seen the trail, the pictures for his new outfit? How he looks like
Aquaman
really
2.
Aquaman.
Dry.
Jason Momoa.
I haven't seen this, but I tried to watch the first Aquaman.
Shouldn't he be nude?
Yeah.
And I couldn't even get through the first 10 minutes before I turned it off. And I was like, this is horrible. And I
You didn't like Boba Fett being his dad and everything?
Boba Fett is Aquaman's dad?
What the hell?
Yeah, the actor that plays
No.
Boba Fett is Jason Momoa's dad in Aquaman.
The little
Aquaman-
fat brown red guy?
Yeah.
Aquaman is the worst superhero. It's
Yeah,
stupid.
people have said that for
Yeah.
years, right?
He's actually one of the better ones in the DC expanded universe, though.
Who likes Aquaman?
I
Jason Momoa's
don't
pretty
really
cool.
know him. I
I
don't
like
want to
Jason
speak
Momoa.
on him.
Name one kid that if you ask, what's your favorite superhero? How many kids would say Aquaman? I mean,
Michael Phelps.
Yeah, you might be
all
right.
some
That's all I
nerd
can think
swimmers.
of.
I don't know.
All I can think of.
But I
Some
don't.
nerd swimmer.
But I think he would like Superman.
Even the cool swimmer douche. What was that guy's name? The swimming
Ryan
douche.
Lochte?
Ryan Lochte.
Oh.
Even he would have picked Superman or Spider-Man. He ain't gonna
He's
pick
too
no
dumb,
Aquaman.
man.
Yeah, he's I love Superman. He swim fast.
Yeah, but he also got mugged in Brazil, supposedly.
that was all.
I thought he
It
lied.
was all fake.
yeah.
He
Because-
lied.
Yeah, he wants to stay relevant.
So I don't know why they're making an Aquaman 2.
I think the first one did well.
The first one actually did really well, and it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. Out of the DCEU movies, it's one of the better ones.
What is the light-hearted animal that is his pal that is a sea creature that tugs on your heartstrings when it may or may not die on screen?
He doesn't really have one in the first movie.
They
the first
will
movie,
this
there's
one.
like a whale that saves him.
Oh, yeah, there's got a whale that saves him. I had a couple
Yeah.
whales that saved me.
He goes inside its mouth with Amber Heard.
I had a couple whales that would roll through at like 2:30, take me back to their apartments at T's and Q's, then steal my monster dog tag.
The thing about Aquaman that I hate the most is when he rides. Now,
Oh no,
The seahorse
he
in
double.
Super Friends?
No, he stands
1 foot on each dolphin.
One foot on
Yeah.
each dolphin.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
how
so,
you know.
Yeah,
And
but
you
they do that at SeaWorld.
And you know what you do for extra? Do you know?
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, yeah, I seen the intern at SeaWorld do it. Like, and
That's
this
how
is-
you do it. Do you know why you do that? Because you place your feet on the blowholes, so when you're exiting, you have them, and you're like, sneeze. Like I don't know their names. They're different names. I don't know what you would call them. Salty and beach, sneeze, and then they sneeze you off.
It's just
by
like
propelling your feet out of their blowholes.
other superheroes can fly or they have super speed and stuff. Like you're just riding dolphins, so it's
Well,
like
if you're on land, you're screwed.
yeah.
Hold on, we got to get to a river. I need my dolphin.
There's always that joke, but then there's also the fact that you just having the balance to ride 2 dolphins again.
That's impressive.
We've seen it at SeaWorld before. Some trainer can do it. Why is it that impressive that you can do it?
I don't
He
think
has more powers than that. Like, think about it. He can go deep underwater, so he can survive crushing depths. So he has to have super strength for that.
Well,
and
who's under there?
durability.
Wait, was
Black
it-
Manta.
Stupid.
Ursula.
Next story, EJ.
Oh.
Okay, the last one I got is Let There Be Carnage. They nailed down. It's going to be next month on the 15th. It's coming out with Woody Harrelson and Tom Hardy.
Which is the Venom
And
movie.
Andy Serkis
You
is
didn't
the
even say what it was.
director.
Yeah, he didn't even say the
God
title. He's
damn
like, the movie is coming out, Carnage. It's got Woody Harrelson in it.
How can I explain this movie? It's
There's guys.
A black
There's a
ooze monster fights a red ooze monster. There you go.
So
My wife's fighting the red ooze monster right now.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
mine.
Sucks.
my wife's fighting the black ooze monster. Oh.
Take her to a doctor.
No, it's different than you think.
Melanoma.
So, is this
This is part 2.
Okay.
They did Venom 1 like 2 years ago, and this is part 2, the continuation of the story with Tom
More
Hardy.
Venom. More
Yeah,
venomous.
but Andy Serkis, the guy that played Gollum, is directing it.
So is it bad that the who directed the last Venom? Because was that considered a good movie? I don't watch it. Okay, that was a bad. Okay,
People
so
didn't
No,
like it.
Venom was pretty good.
I mean, most people kind of hate on it as being a weaker link in the Marvel universe, right?
But it's Sony. It's not really Marvel. It's still that outside. Even though Marvel bought the rights to Spider-Man, kind of, but they still didn't own Venom and like Morbius and stuff like that. That's part of the Spider-Man universe.
Oh, Morbius.
Morbius.
I like
You know what?
Morbius.
You know what I like
Morbius
when
is
it
one of
comes
my
to
favorite
Marvel
characters
movies?
from
I want lesbians. I can't handle it anymore, man. It's too crazy. You nerds are killing me.
There is it's too much. It's because the
Not too much.
the ratio's off when it's like it seems like half the movies that come out
Yeah.
are Marvel movies.
It's
right?
unbelievable.
But this
You
is
know
a
what?
backlog. We didn't get any good movies
Okay,
in the
you
90s
wanna-
from Marvel.
you want
and
a good
now we're
movie?
getting the movies now.
But
You want a
spread
good?
it out.
You want a good premise for a movie that's revolves around all these dumb Marvel movies? Here's the movie. You ready? The world has too many superheroes.
Yes.
The world is nothing but superheroes, and the only people that can save all these dumb superheroes are 4 normal podcaster fattos.
That's basically the boys.
Yeah, that's what you need, right? Yeah, it's like the boys. There's too many superheroes, and we go the opposite direction. Just all normal
The
people.
only difference is they weren't podcasters. They were actually CIA kind of guys.
It just makes me mad. It is too much.
All right, EJ, what do you got to plug now?
I have nothing to plug. What should I plug?
Well, nothing. You said
Wow.
it.
I have no comedy set up. My wife doesn't have another MyCon till I think it's next April. So, but it was actually a success. So good for her. Oh, I forgot to tell you the story about how she was distributing literature that she probably shouldn't have.
What,
Giving out that stack of penthouse I gave her.
I was just handing out Nazi memorabilia.
Yeah,
or-
well, every person that walked
the
in, she
hell?
would hand them an autographed
I'm not gonna say what
page
it
from a
was.
1980s Hustler magazine.
Well, what was she handing out?
I promise I wouldn't say, but I just wanted to
I
hint at it
promise
so
I
you
wouldn't
guys
say,
would
but
think
I
about
would
it.
just allude to it to drive everyone crazy.
Well, what you alluded to is probably way worse in everybody's imagination than it
know.
actually
Yeah.
is. So now
She was
everyone,
handing out those pedophiles aren't that bad, but
well, now
pedophiles aren't that bad.
everybody and me thinks it's way worse
Yeah.
than what it actually probably is.
I'm not going to say.
She's passing out those.
No.
I know what
Well,
she
now
was
I
doing.
think it's
You
real
know what I
bad.
know
What
she
is
was doing?
it?
She was making
It's not that bad.
fake
It's not that
vaccine
bad.
cards, is what I heard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll get you.
You
the
hand
clink.
out fake vaccine cards?
That'll get you the clink.
Next MyCon is March 26th, 2022, by the way.
Oh,
It's on
And
the
she's
website.
already like sold out most of the table. So if you want to get the table, definitely contact her. I know
Yeah.
Eric Babone's probably been
Show your vaccine card if you know what I mean. If you pick it up when I'm laying down. Ow,
Q sent me.
ow. All right.
Jesus.
Bye bye.
Hey, bye.
Get out of
Oh.
here. Get out of here. What do you think it was? We'll never know.
I'll find out.
It's
Well,
terrible. It sounds terrible.
What I know is it's way less bad than we
Right.
all
Yeah.
think it
Yeah.
is. So
Absolutely.
he's done his
It's
wife.
probably just something that was copyrighted, and then she shouldn't
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
been
he's
distributing
he's
it.
done his
Yeah.
wife a disservice.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
God
always-
damn it, EJ.
Why do you do that, man?
It's like telling like, oh man, my wife said this word the other day and it was
Oh,
real
man,
bad.
You're not gonna believe it. It
Why
started-
bring it up when you're like, hey, I forgot to tell you the story that I can't tell you? Like, don't even bring it up then.
Yeah. Like my
My
wife.
wife said something at the school board. Oh man, and it ends with an R. And then you run out. What?
But I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna tell you. Not
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah,
And I'll never tell you.
Right.
Well, I think it's probably way worse than it is. Anyway, all right. We'll be back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So I saw this. It was a trailer for a documentary about Billie Eilish that's coming out, and
The one that's been out on Apple TV.
maybe it's that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch it
She
now.
also has a concert that's streaming on Disney Plus right now.
Really.
Yeah, that's like partially animated, I believe.
Pretty darn talented gal, man. She is impressive.
So in the trailer for this documentary that's out, I haven't watched it yet, but I may. It was talking about like all the stuff Billie Eilish has accomplished and like, you know, how big her fame is. And they started listing it out. And when they were listing it out, it was just overwhelming how big she was able to get worldwide. And it's like she has something like 1 billion plus streams.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And like, and they started listing all these gigantic numbers, and then they talked about her age, which I forget how young she
Right.
is. Like she was 17 or younger than that when she started, right? How old is she
was
now?
like 16.
Yeah,
Now I think she's like only like 19,
Yeah,
right?
I want to
Yeah.
say like she's barely 20 now.
So I think when this documentary was filmed, she was 17.
Well,
or
it was
something.
released in February of this year, so you're a little behind.
Sorry.
No,
Well,
it's fine.
I just saw
She's
the-
19 years old. She'll turn 20 in December.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, and she started getting, I mean, she's been famous for a while. So she was famous at like 17, 16, 15.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just started looking at that. I'm like, my God, like so young to be so huge and famous worldwide.
So how old is Tommy?
He is,
7, right?
yeah, I think
So in
close to
8
that.
years, can he be at Billie Eilish status?
No.
Well, you never know, right?
Yeah, you don't know.
Because you don't know the media form or what they're, like I'm sure that streaming or YouTube or that type of communication came into play, or SoundCloud, however you want to dial it up. You don't know. You never
Did
know.
you watch it or just the trailer?
I just saw the trailer, and it just struck me like how famous she got and being so young, and the fact that she was doing this with her brother in her bedroom, and like just like so amateur style, and it blew up. And
What's most impressive to these type of kids to me is it seems like a lot of them have. I don't know Billie Eilish's. Sam, you probably know more about her bio than I do. But even from the little bits of the documentary that I was seeing, I was watching some behind-the-scenes clips that fans have gathered of her just playing when she was younger. And a lot of it seems as if she was playing like in a church setting or like at a school, what do you call it, like a talent show or something like that.
Yeah.
And most of it had a very Justin Timberlake, Katy Perry, like there's something that all these type of Justin Bieber, where it's like they become obsessed with music, obsessed with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they have to have that obsession in it. And once they have that, then everything else is like, it's going to be fine. Like John Mayer, all these different people, you see it and it almost like clicks in their brain where they have just a level of performing and obsession with it where they're like, all they're doing is hammering on their keyboard. All they're doing is playing their guitar.
Yeah. They're obsessed with it, and also, like, I'm sure she's some sort of genius or savant, right?
That's what it looks like.
Where she's able to tap into, because there's
It's
got
an old soul. Like when you hear her sing, or
like
when you
Amy
see her
Winehouse.
You're
Like
right.
if you,
Right.
I watched the Amy Winehouse documentary, I'm like, oh, this person is artistic genius.
Yeah, it's
you know?
natural for them.
Like, yeah, and I think it's probably the same thing with Billie Eilish, which is weird too, because your brain is wired to make this unbelievable art, and this art that obviously so many people around the world can
of all ages too, because you
yeah,
got
of all
to be,
a- yeah.
you got to be able to capitalize on an art on like an audience that's way older than you, right?
yeah.
I mean, a lot of women like in their 30s, they like Billie Eilish.
Oh,
and
yeah,
she's
yeah.
not even in her 20s.
Yeah, so
Right.
you're making music as a young teen, 15, 16.
That resonates with folks.
That resonate with people of all ages from around the world, which is a crazy feat. I know there's like right place, right time, right style, and
Well,
like a
sometimes
new
it's
style.
your intelligence and or the
Yeah.
trauma you've had, or how you've dealt with the trauma, or the upbringing you had, where you grew up, socioeconomically how you grew up.
Yeah, she
She's-
grew up poor, right?
No. Both of her parents were actors.
Yeah, I think she did pretty well off.
She was born in L.A. Both of her parents are actors. No, she...
Well, just because both your parents are actors doesn't mean you grew up rich. I saw some
and they both were musicians, too.
that lends me to believe they're not rich.
Yeah,
Most musicians I know aren't rich.
She was
Yeah.
conceived via in vitro fertilization. That ain't cheap.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's
true. Yeah, that's the fancy way.
Although, in just the trailer I watched, they showed like her, like, I don't know, getting some sort of piano for Christmas or something, and where she's at does not seem like it's some mansion.
It looks pretty normal to me.
It looks like a regular lower middle class,
yeah.
house. Not by any means.
I'm not saying she's rich, but she did not grow up poor.
Yeah, I guess it's
Yeah.
all subjective.
Yeah, and I really think and you mentioned him, Phineas, her brother, and the two of them like kind of working in cahoots, like that relationship. That is very. I think that's very. Oh man, like I can only imagine if I'd had a creative sibling to work with.
They were
That'd-
both homeschooled, and both of
That'd
their
be
parents were
really
musicians
fun.
and actors. So like, I'm sure that influenced them a lot.
Yeah. Where they just push towards art. It's
That's
it's
a
just
lot of art time, yeah.
it's just it's insane that you're able to produce and make this music that that the world can relate to, and then you become so super famous from your own art. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this is stupid, but it's just like so young, so famous from the stuff that you make and came up with or whatever at such a young age. It just,
I always wonder because
crazy to me.
I'm not in it, and because of so much of what we do and what we create is hands-on, and in exactly what you hear is exactly what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
It's very simple. But for some of these younger artists where you're doing something that could potentially be huge and global, the fascinating part for me isn't necessarily their artistic idea, but when the machine got a hold of it and what they did to it to make it seemingly more sellable. Did they have to do anything to it? Did they not have to do anything to it? What was their influence? Like, what was the original artistic idea that this 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old girl came up with, right? Before it got into the machine. That would be interesting to me because I'd like to know, because it has to get in there, right? To be this big.
Yeah, well, the machine's different now because
It is.
the machine's now the internet, and you can become super famous literally just by distributing.
But controlling the message, your artwork, all of that, those little pieces. Who gets a?
Yeah.
Are you signing off on everything? Are you very much like a Paris Hilton, where you're signing off on everything and nothing gets out there besides the stuff that you see, or are
at this level, I would assume that she has her people and there's someone that's managing this empire that she's built. You know what I'm saying? But it's becoming increasingly easy to do your own thing and self-distribute and make your own money and never have to be a part of a giant
it certainly
corporation.
evens the playing field as far as like equipment and
Yeah.
distribution goes, because distribution used to be the thing that was held over your head. You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
may be able to make the best music in the world, but nobody would ever get to see it or
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I mean,
unlocked that, or open the gate for you to, if you're a talented person, you can be exposed to the world.
But there's also a lot of, because of it though, I hear a lot of bad. That's the funny thing is a lot of people
Well, you can't
say,
sort through it. Yeah.
well, there's a lot more bad now. I feel
Yeah.
like, there's a lot more people that, like I get sent a lot of stuff all the time, and, music and stuff like that, and, equipment or recording yourself is so easy now. There's some stuff that you would listen to and you'd be like, well, and I don't mean this to be rude, but I listen to it and I'm like, well, that would probably be better not recorded because it's not very good.
I wonder for people that are obviously super artistic, like a Billie Eilish, and I'm just assuming just based on the popularity of her music and the fact that I've seen her perform a couple times and she seems to be like very like artistic. I gotta say, not really like a
Reserved.
like a Pink. I would consider
shy.
more of a business performer. You see what I'm
Yes,
saying? Like,
yes.
and she could sing, but she's more like into the business. She understands her look and her brand, and
Yep.
you know what I'm
She
saying?
knows exactly what she's doing.
Super artist and performer, but very savvy, and she's doing. And like Billie Eilish seems like, I don't care. I'm gonna wear baggy clothes and just do my own
do
thing
what I do,
because
yeah.
my art's my art or whatever. I wonder if being as famous as she is now is not compatible with her personality and what she's into.
Doesn't
and stuff
seem like it, does it? I don't know anything about her, but I'll just go on what I see. When I look at her, it looks uncomfortable. It looks like she'd be more comfortable being less famous, but still doing exactly what she's doing.
Yeah, like you still want to, like you're an artist, you want to produce your art, but if you
Some people look good famous. You know what I mean? Like you look at them and what they're doing and everything, and you're like, oh, you're handling that well.
They want
I
to
don't-
be famous.
Yeah, I
right?
don't look at her and go like, oh, you're enjoying every aspect of this.
Yeah, I'm sure she has enjoyed the fruits of being famous and the money
And her hard
the-
work. Yeah.
But now at that level, you can't do normal things anymore.
Right.
You're not only famous in the United States. It's not like you could just go and move to a different country and live. You're famous globally.
Yeah, and she's probably the most famous right now, right?
Yeah.
Pop star?
She's definitely up there for sure.
Yeah, top 5 at least,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And so at that level, after you've like gotten used to the money and the security that gives you, it's kind of a curse, right? Because it takes your ability to live a normal life away.
How's that new album?
I haven't listened to it. I'll be honest with you.
Have
I
you-
just know like the one single.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, like I definitely like and enjoy the things that I hear. Like whenever there's a new she'll release new music, it'll come up. Just Maisie loves pop music. It'll come up and be like, I like that. Like I enjoy it.
I wonder if now, like, they do this with sports stars where, like, an up-and-coming, like, I'm sure Trevor Lawrence, and maybe he doesn't need it. I'm trying to think of someone else that maybe needs it. But, like, some superstar, they'll assign people to you to kind of, help you negotiate this world, like a manager or like
A mentor of some sort.
like a mentor. They do this with football players where they get like the older guy to kind of mentor the younger guy and keep him like out of trouble or like give him advice about, what I'm saying?
Well, that's what they did me to you, and you're doing that to Butler, right?
And do they do that with like a Billie Eilish or someone to just like help them
I do think that there are
being famous?
That might be an old thing though, because I feel like back in the day you had people that would like, okay, for instance, like let's say Madonna would call Britney Spears to try and help her navigate.
Supposedly, she's the one who hooked her
Yes.
up with that lawyer,
Yes.
that new lawyer. Yeah.
This is the example of music. So that seems like an old pop music thing.
So
I don't see much crossover between like now I may be wrong. You're like, let's say that it would have to go from like Britney to Billy, right? It would have to go in that direction.
Well, Brittany can't contact
Yeah,
anybody
or-
right now, but yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seemed like that was more of like an old Hollywood or an old rock and roll thing where you've got like, oh yeah, Mick
I bet
Jagger.
they do reach out
Yeah,
to each
Mick
other.
Jagger reached out to Chris Cornell before he passed away. Like something like
But
that.
I think Billy's doing okay.
She
I know
seems
she had
very,
a couple struggles with like depression and she
Yeah.
has some mental illness stuff, but I think she's doing all
Yeah,
right.
she looks like you're
She
doing
has
all
a
right.
strong family. I think that's what helps, when you have a family that actually cares about you and not the money.
Yeah, it seems
But-
like they do care about
Yeah.
each other. I don't get a weirdo vibe. I do get a like we love each other and we're willing to like family is first. I get that
Yeah.
vibe from them.
it's what I'm saying is like, but the family's never been famous to that level before.
Not to
like,
that level,
like-
but they've all been in the industry.
True, but-
Everyone in
Yeah.
that family is in the entertainment industry.
That probably helps.
Yeah.
But there's no way to really figure out how to be ultra that level famous, because there's certain things that you probably shouldn't do or should do or like that you don't know to do. And I wonder if like someone from the label or someone she does business
yeah.
with like gives you some sort of manager that tells you like, this is how to be famous. Like at your level, you can't do this. You could, you should have these bank accounts, like
Yeah.
some business things and some other like.
That's how all
where
those
you're-
movies, right? Like when they happen, all
like
those
you don't want
movies-
your address listed. You want to get a lawyer to
Right.
take all information about your your any sort of personal information off the internet. That all costs money. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things. That's what I'm interested
Yeah,
in.
like,
It's
Celebrity 101.
yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder if they assign, like, I imagine some sort of like agent that comes in and just handles like the beginning of your celebrity and gets all your affairs in order to be that famous.
We should start that company.
Well, I don't know anything about it. Like, I don't know what you need
We
to
can
do.
figure it out.
I just,
Take your unlist your number. There you go. That one's free.
but there's probably so many. Like, here's how to fly privately. Here's how things that you don't like. What the hell does Billie Eilish know about private transportation? And
I'm
like,
sure the agent takes care of
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of
you
that.
just
rent a
I mean,
car.
it's not
You
like
got a
she's
budget.
an indie artist here, you know.
You get a $1 rent a card. You get a Kia,
No,
just like everybody else.
that I'm sure there's things we don't even think about. Like, you shouldn't list your residence in your name or
Oh
something.
my
you know?
God! You actually wrote Phineas on this? I'll know it's you.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it's just willy nilly and they just learn as they go. I just assume that it's like
Life's a dance.
Well, they do it with other businesses and stuff. So
I'm checking in 2 rooms under the name Bobby Eyelash.
bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So I've been watching Hulu Live lately with
Wow.
Crystal.
Okay.
Only because like we haven't picked a new show to get into. We've been wanting to get into some staples that everybody says were like Mad Men and like
Mad Men?
well-
That came out like 2001.
I know,
dude.
but it was like people say
I'm
that,
with you. I just started Peaky Blinders last
Yeah,
week.
Peaky Blinders. That's
No,
another
I
one.
Never go backwards. If the show is 3 years old, you can't go backwards.
Maybe that's true.
I like it because everyone forgot about it, and I get to watch it without spoilers because I didn't pay attention to it when people posted about it.
But also, Mad Men's
could
like
be fun.
a period piece, so
Yeah, it's a classic,
It's
right?
like it kind of should hold up. It's kind of like Sopranos. That should hold up, right? I don't know. Anyway,
I've heard from people. Now, I've never revisited, and it's one of the only shows that I've watched every episode from beginning to end when it was on. Kind of proud of that. You know, like there's very few shows I can say that I saw it when it came out. I was there for episode 1, and I was there for the last episode, and I watched them all live. And The Sopranos, and I've heard from people that it holds up.
Yeah, I mean, well-written show, good acting.
Really
like,
well-written.
Like, that's all I'm looking for. Is like a well-written show with good acting that a lot of people have said is good.
Right.
Why not watch
Sam
it?
got me on a new show, and I forgot to say this. This is the one that I was thinking about when Crespo was here. She got me on that Pen 15, man.
Oh yeah, it's great.
That is a funny show.
What is that?
Pen 15.
Pen
It's also on
15.
Hulu.
It's on Hulu, and the girls that are in that show are really funny comedic actresses. They're really funny.
So anyway, we'll turn on Hulu Live, and I'll just scroll through the live TV, and then I usually end up on MTV for whatever reason, and that's why.
Man, you got to grow out of that. It's the ridiculousness in you.
But now they started showing old episodes of Cribs, right?
Boy, dude, you're at an all-time low. I've been telling you to watch Below Deck Mediterranean.
I know. I'm not even watching it. It's because it's not. I don't even like it.
Yeah, I like to do what you do too. You put it on the background and you talk over it.
Or just scroll through your phones and no talk. Just scroll, look at your phone as the TV.
Sometimes we bang through it.
And
sad.
So MTV Cribs is on, and it was a Martha Stewart episode or whatever. I think this is after she got out of jail, and I think she mentioned COVID too, which is like, they still filming Cribs?
Yeah, it was 3 weeks ago they did that.
Okay, so this is new?
They're still doing it.
Oh, damn it, I can't
Oh, it
load
says
this.
MTV Cribs is back and better than ever. So they did stop doing it. They
Oh,
brought
okay.
it back
All
now.
right, so I thought this was an old
All right,
episode.
I got the. You want to see the?
So I was watching it, and there is an epidemic with rich white ladies and their tiny dogs. This big,
pee-pee dogs.
their tiny pee-pee dogs. It's been going on forever for whatever reason.
I love pee-pee dogs now. You're gonna hurt my feelings because you know I got my two pee-pee dogs. I can put them on either side of me
It
like
makes
an
me
evil
laugh.
genius. I love my pee-pee dogs.
So, in a lot of, I've seen this before, and obviously celebrities, but also
This is absurd.
in personal life, I've seen rich white people and have pee-pee dogs.
No, they get too many of them. They get like a herd of pee-pee dogs.
So there's one scene, I don't think we'll be able to find it, because it's near the end when she's talking about her horses and her horse stable. So
I'll go back and see.
She has a ridiculous compound, by the way.
She has 7 houses on her property.
Yeah. I mean, this
And multiple pools.
Well, she's a billionaire, right?
Yeah. This lady is rich beyond belief. And each house is like a showpiece for home and garden. You know what I'm saying? Because she's Martha Stewart.
Well, I'm sure she brings her crew in. They set up particular rooms she's not using with $1 million stuff, and then they take awesome photography and put it in the magazine that she owns, or the network that she owns, or the cookbook that she owns.
Everything, every plant is the best, most expensive house plant that's sitting there. I'm like looking at these, like the most expensive cookware just hanging, everything is out of a magazine, right?
It's like, it looks staged.
But the only thing that's not out of a magazine is her 2 wild pee-pee dogs running around, right?
Andrea hates it when I call them that too, but they pee. Like Maggie and Caesar are pee crazy all over the house.
So it's funny because now Martha Stewart has a little bit, like, I see her differently because after she went to jail and stuff.
She's smoking weed with Snoop Dogg.
And she's a little bit trashy with her pee-pee dogs, and like this lady that is touted for being like, have the most to put together everything.
I mean, the only difference
it's kind of a BS
you
facade,
put her
right?
in a DeLand trailer park, and those pee-pee dogs are running around. It looks exactly the same.
So there's one scene at the end of this, and where she
now I gotta watch it.
She brings out her horse, like it's some super expensive prize horse.
Bring out my Arabian stallion.
Yeah.
She says it's the same kind of horses that the Queen of England rides.
Yes,
Well, then shouldn't she know the name?
She says it in the
Isn't that
thing.
She probably
but-
says it,
yeah,
but it's not in
she-
this
No, but
article.
isn't that what redneck people say? They get like, this here.
yeah.
Okay, hold on. This is not stand
Yeah,
up, but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just telling you the difference is that if you really know what this horse is, you'll be like, well, this is a Grecian stallion from the Isles of Galapagos. Like, you know that.
Yeah.
Instead of
This
going,
is-
this here's the same one that I hear tell the queen ride. This here's the same lineage.
Yeah. So that's what she said. Then they bring the horse out to the pasture, and she's on the other side. It's on the other side of this super nice fence, right? And then,
Vinyl or wood?
so everything. So then her pee-pee dogs start running
Oh, they hate it.
around.
They're gonna bite that horse so bad.
Yeah, around the horse, and the horse
Get it, pee-pee dog.
starts violently trying to stomp the pee-pee dog
I'll watch the hell out of
with
this.
the full power
Oh, you're gonna hoof them good.
of this big ass 1,500-pound horse or whatever, because this thing's like stallion, right?
Pee-pee dogs are strong. They're chirping crazy, those pee-pee dogs.
all-
Oh my God, I'm a pee-pee dog.
Uh-oh.
These pee-pee dogs are running around, and this horse is like coming feet away from stomping
Oh,
this
yeah.
dog flat.
But the dog is wild with a so...
All right, we gotta find. Hold on, we gotta find. Just go to the because.
I can't. It makes me put in
Oh,
because it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
new.
It's
it makes
new.
It,
Yeah, you're
it
right.
makes
Sorry.
you put in your cable.
So then she starts yelling at the pee-pee dogs.
I'll get it for
which
you tomorrow.
One of the pee-pee dogs' name is Creme
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
Wait,
I'm gonna finish that.
no.
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
Good thing it's not your dog.
No, I can't even pronounce it. And then she's like, creme brulee, creme brulee. It's a big ass horse.
You're about to get stopped.
Tries to stomp the pee-pee dogs, and then I'm like, oh.
Creme brulee, listen.
And I'm like, she's just as trashy as everyone else. And then I got great joy out of the fact that Martha Stewart has two pee-pee dogs.
Her dogs wear diamond collars.
Yeah,
And diapers, I bet too, because they pee they pee on everything.
And she's yelling creme brulee or
Oh,
whatever
I love
at as her horse tries to stomp him.
I do love my pee-pee dogs.
And
I
she-
mean, I love them. I just wish, because I was talking to my wife about this, because I know it's going to come up, especially like, you know how much I love Maggie and Caesar. And they're little dogs. There's a sweet spot with little dogs.
Oh, she also has birds. Yeah, she's trashy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she probably got snakes.
Yeah.
She has 14 blue canaries.
From the age of like
that was in there.
4 to like the age of like 4 to 10, there's a perfect 6 years with your pee-pee dog where you have the best dog that you can take it anywhere. You can do anything with it. No one knows where it is, where it goes. You snuggle it places, take it. It's awesome. But then when it gets of like that senior dog age, you do start getting the little wet spots. And man, is it bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. And I hate it.
Well, luckily Caesar is like slightly above normal pee-pee dog size. Like
Yeah, he's like pee-pee plus.
Yeah. And then Caesar never really Caesar had that throwing up problem, but never really the pee-pee everywhere. Like you get a little Yorkie.
My dog pee-peed everywhere before he died.
Yeah,
No, this is
well,
just old
when they get
dogs.
old, yeah. But I'm talking
Yeah.
about like they have pee-pee dog. Like you get a little Yorkie or a little
some
Bichon
of them, they
Frise.
pee from jump to death.
Yeah. They just go around squirting pee-pee
Yeah.
in your whole house. Is there? You got pee pads everywhere, and then your whole mansion stinks like urine a little bit, like dog pee-pee.
Yeah.
And that's how normal rich people live, which is bizarre to me.
It is bizarre.
because it's like
and it's usually
you have a nice ass house, and then you're having
Yeah,
a
but
bunch
you're
of.
rich. You have everyone deep clean your house every
Let's
day.
take it a step
No,
further.
they don't know. They got pee-pee pads, and it stinks like pee-pee.
Yeah, it does stink like pee-pee. Let's take it a step further. They also normally have the type of furniture that looks like it belongs in Saddam Hussein's palace.
yeah.
It's usually
And
the
your
opulent, swirly, you know, the like Parisian furniture where it's like they gold leafed it?
Yeah,
That's exactly what her couch looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I'm
Looking
saying
at it.
that these
Yeah.
type of women only have that type of furniture.
That's
and
an $18,000 couch.
I don't
Yeah.
believe that it is the dog's fault. I think that little dogs are triggered by opulent Parisian furniture. When they see it, they just start peeing wildly.
All right. So if you had a tiny Yorkie in a trailer, it's not going to be
Not gonna
okay,
pee-pee.
all right, I like this.
Not
I
gonna
like
be
the theory.
I feel like it because it's always around this crazy Parisian swirly clawfoot chairs.
Yeah. They also have giant houses where the dog can hide in a corner or hide underneath their
Oh,
grand
yeah.
piano.
You'll never find the pee-pee.
Yeah. They pee-pee, and then it just dries up, and then there's a bunch
Oh,
of
that
dry
is-
pee-pee.
yeah.
So how's the maid can even find it to clean it? Because I pee-peed under the curtains in the grand ballroom. You know, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like they're not cleaning it. They haven't had a ball party in a
No,
while.
A lot of dust bunnies in there.
Yeah, so they've closed the doors where your pee-pee dog
It's
just
stale in there too. It's like stale urine.
pee-pees in the corner. Which for something about like having a bunch of expensive stuff that you don't use bothers me to the point where I feel like if I was ever super rich, it would drive me insane. Because eventually you buy stuff that you don't use and then it just sits there. It's like, for instance, driving around Seth's car. I'm like, this thing's 800 horsepower. I'm going down 436 the speed limit. You know, I'm like,
it's fast for nothing.
I'm wasting 700 horsepower doing nothing. It's just sitting there under the engine. You'll never use it unless you went out to a tarmac and like raced what's his name?
It's a terrible. I look at it the last couple days. I've been looking at it. That's a terrible car.
Yeah.
When did he add the novelty follow me on Instagram stickers?
It's terrible.
Oh, that's been there. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I understand it though.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram.
It gets attention. I'll tell you on Friday. I got a whole story about driving around this weekend, but the people ask you about it. People look at it and stuff. I don't know.
Have you gone windows down, stereo up? That's the way we liked it.
No, I'm embarrassed driving it around.
Is it tinted windows or clear?
It's tinted. Yeah. You can't really see through it.
Oh, you're good then. Put it down just a little bit and then just, so people are like, ooh, who's in there? And put your Oakley blades on.
It's not like a limo, like although that's kind of gone.
I don't think limos are cool anymore.
Well, I'm saying, but back in the day in the 90s, if you saw a limo, you're like, ooh, who's in there? What diplomat is in there? But with Seth's car, no one thinks it's someone famous driving it. You know, so I'm like, that's the thing. Yeah. And they're mad at it, and they're like dumbfounded why you would do that.
You know what I like? I like the people around Orlando or other cities, I'm sure it's worse in bigger, crazier cities, that will get a novelty license plate and like a vanity license plate in an attempt to make people think that they might be a point guard on the Orlando Magic. And you see these people.
Oh, so you get a car and you make it look like it would be the car.
Well, like it's like let's say you got like an all-white Mercedes, so you'd get like a Magic license plate. And then, like, I don't follow the Magic, so I don't know who one of our guards would be right now. But let's just say at the time it would have been Penny Hardaway. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
You would put, like, P. Hardaway on there, and you'd be like, oh, that's him. And you would see people, like, you know how many times I've been driving around here? I'd be driving around Orlando, and I'd see, like, let's just say a jacked up H2 Hummer, again, showing my age, all blue. It pulls up, chromed out, and then it's on the license plate, it says like Shaq 1. I'm like, oh my God, it's Shaq. Follow it. You follow it. You open the door. Old lady gets out.
That's a different kind of narcissism or something, like to enjoy the attention that people are getting.
It's not even your attention.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's stolen valor, sort of.
Yeah, you're enjoying the attention that people are giving you, thinking you're someone else, and you're getting.
Yes.
What are you getting out of that?
Stolen attention.
But I think they would. No, but I don't think they would say that. I think that they would say, no, dude, I'm just a massive fan. I'm a massive fan.
But that's not. But are you trying to? Because you're not doing it for others, you're doing it for yourself.
Correct.
But you could then try to lie and say, I'm trying to make people's day happy, thinking that they drove past Penny Hardaway. But that's not why they do it. They do it so that people look at...
That's what the guy that drives around and drives every day in the Lamborghini dressed as Batman, then people go like, well, why are you doing this? I just like to make people smile. But the real answer is you're an insane egomaniac.
Yeah, you just want the... And that's what...
You're fueled by attention.
Seth's car is, because I'm telling you, when I went and got my smoothie... and I'll tell you the longer story.
How are you just figuring out that this was all for attention for Seth?
What did you think it was?
He's really into cars?
He's not a car guy.
No.
I mean, like most of the guys, like there's tons of guys in our BDM car group. Like our buddy Ryan, who's in there. I'm not going to say his last name, but that guy legitimately wrenches on his race truck. You know, like he's that guy. He's got a race truck, and that truck is just to go fast, and all he lives for is creating handmade parts to go in his race truck, right?
Yeah, that's his hobby, but he goes out and races right?
But it's, if you look at this truck, number one, you'd never know it's a race truck, and number two, it's nothing about it even, like, it's just a truck.
Right.
You never know until until you look in, and he took out the passenger seat and the back seat.
Roll cage. He's got all kinds of different stuff he's added.
And big fat tires in the back. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, but you're right. I know it sounds stupid to think like, oh, Seth only got this for attention. It just seems like such a because really
you're dumbfounded.
the only attention you're getting really is the paint job.
Yeah, he just wants people to look at him.
You don't need the
You don't
Hellcat.
need the engine, no.
Yeah. I guess that's part of it too, because
Well, that's what you got to have to back it up. Unless
Exactly.
you decided to pose. I mean, there are a lot of people that
Yeah.
will go. Now,
get
this,
like a kit Lamborghini
well,
car.
this won't,
Yeah.
you won't understand
Yeah.
this, but I've seen this a lot in the GTI world, in the entry-level sports car world. GTI is not a sports car, by the way, but it's, I guess a sporty sedan, a compact, a hot hatch, whatever you want to call it. But you'll see people that'll get like a regular Golf, and I'm only using this because it's my example, and then they'll just get a badge of a GTI and just swap out the
Trick
badges.
it out, yeah.
And so it looks the same, but I mean, technically, it's kind of stupid in the fact that
Yeah.
it doesn't have the same horsepower, it doesn't have the tight suspension, doesn't have paddle
Yeah.
shifters.
And the people
it's not
that-
even set up. It's actually set up completely incorrect. It's an economy car.
Yeah, and people that know the difference are going to clown you.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Right.
make fun of you.
So what are you doing it for? Is
I
the
don't
question.
know. Yeah.
Are
That's,
you doing it for you, or are you doing it for dumb people that don't know?
that's where I'm kind of searching for.
I'm not hating on it either way. Do what you want to do to your car. It's your car. It's not my car. I'm just saying I think it's weird.
It is weird.
Because
Yeah,
there's
like-
nothing wrong with having the Golf as a Golf. It's a great car.
So I'm
It's just
trying-
not a GTI.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out the purpose and I guess the attention, because it does get you a lot of attention, right? Everybody looks at you.
It's loud,
And,
both the way it looks and the way it sounds.
You have told me, well, if we're going to handle this on Friday, but I mean, like, you've told me it's not comfortable.
No, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's just a drive around in like a
Has your
insane
wife driven it
horsepower muscle car. No, she wasn't interested. Girls not interested in that car whatsoever. Only old teens.
It's a dude
and
car.
old men.
Yeah.
Like every old guy in my neighborhood asked me about it. Every one
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
And they all like one of them. I think was walking
Guess
his
what
dog.
Seth is? He doesn't like to admit it, but
Oh, yeah.
But I think he was originally doing it for the girls' attention, right? Or something.
no,
or no,
he wants all attention. He claims it's for little kids. Remember, he said he wanted to impress
Well, I
little
would
kids.
never
But my
claim
son's
that.
I
not
wouldn't
even-
either.
Yeah.
But that's what he said on this show.
Yeah, my sons weren't even that, and like they were just like, okay.
I
I
told
mean,
you.
Max looked bored.
Yeah, but Max, Tommy liked it a little bit, but I think he just wanted to not disappoint
Disappoint
me.
you, which is what I told you Friday when you left.
I love that. I love
I said
that
your
he
little
doesn't-
boy's gonna lie to you
So-
because you think it's cool, so he wants to impress you.
Like if I had the Batmobile or whatever, like that would be
That'd
cool.
be cooler, yeah.
But just like a blood-stained like Hellcat, they don't even understand like the difference between a Hellcat and a Dodge Charger
No.
or any car. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, and
so
your
the
average
horsepower
car
they
guy
don't know.
does it.
I'm like, this is as strong as 800 horses, and they're like, oh, okay. Like, that
Don't
doesn't-
care.
Yeah, that doesn't move.
I
the
mean,
needle for
I
him.
would be more impressed, though, if you rode to work on a horse.
Yeah.
You know, if you came in and
Yes, I would too, honestly.
And I drove up and I came over here and I saw him tied up and there's doo-doo all over the front of the studio. I'd be like, what is that? I'd be like, this is amazing. And he's got blood stains all over the front of him.
People will compliment you because like every store I went in, people are like, awesome car, like, but it's always like young boys, you know, not young boys, but like 20-year-old guys.
You play for Orlando City.
like frat boys and then old dads.
Yes, yeah. That's seemingly the people that have only
Nice
complimented.
car.
me.
You know, riffraff.
Like a girl did when I made that post on the Beat 'Em show, like walking out, like there's a tall blonde chick,
Whoa.
and she.
My God, I love your car.
No, she didn't say that. She just when she
Are
walked
you
out,
drinking a Captain Kidd with a protein blast?
she looked at the car and then turned around and looked at me. But it wasn't because she was
Oh,
impressed.
She's like, who the hell's
Ball.
driving
Yes,
this thing?
yes, it was who the
Yeah.
hell, what douche is driving, like,
yeah.
or like double checking, like, did that guy just come out of, you know, because I'm just some normal fat dad.
Why is Vinny Vulture Legs driving that fancy car?
Yeah. So it was more confusion.
Right.
She wasn't impressed or think like, ooh, this makes me wet.
Oh my god.
But I think Seth wants that, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that's a thing.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not a thing. It's never a thing.
I don't think that's ever been a thing.
No, absolutely not. Waste of money.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On the line with us from our awesome medical marijuana dispensary partner, True Leave. We've got Skylar on the line. How you doing, Skylar?
I'm doing great. Just came off of a nice 3-day weekend. How are you all doing?
Good. Congratulations. Tom just came off of taking advantage of your big 40% off sale.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you did good there, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
He did good.
And, man, it's like 40% off is a lot.
It is
Like,
a lot.
Especially if you buy a lot, because I usually I'll stock up when I go. Like, I'm not one of these daily. Like, Butler will go like every other day. I'm just like, go
He
once
goes
a month
like my
and
wife
buy a
goes to
lot.
Publix. He's like, I go by and I get one thing of LaCroix. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, get a whole bunch of it.
Yeah, like I like getting a month's worth or whatever. Like, and then if you get a month's worth and you land on that 40% off, or I mean, True Leaf's always doing deals like that. I mean, it makes a big difference. Like, you save like $150. You know, like,
or more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You
Uh,
have to take advantage of those big sales when they come out.
Yeah, and that's why it's so good to sign up to get the text messages and the text alerts, because you'll just get the messages directly to you anytime they do. Like, I get usually one every time True Leaf's doing happy hour or random sale. Like, I don't have to ever look. It just comes right to my phone. I'm like,
Just
oh,
let you know, easiest thing to do.
Hitting True Leaf on the way home. So, Skylar, let's talk about I got an email question to ask you, but before that, this kind of ties into everything, but let's talk about new openings and what's going on in the True Leaf world.
Yeah, so we actually don't have any new store openings coming up, at least within the next, 2 weeks, I would say. We hit number 90 a couple weeks ago, which is super exciting. I remember when I started and we had like 20 stores, and so it's crazy that we have 90 now.
That's insane.
Like,
man.
I know. So we opened a Vito, which I know is closer to some of you, so that's really exciting. But, we have our sales going on, so right now, every Tuesday, actually, if you wear your favorite team's jersey and go into our dispensary to purchase your products, you get an extra 10% off, and that can be stacked once so that you can get a total of 30% off.
Huh. Today's Tuesday. I'm going to have
And
to swing by the
wear a
house.
jersey.
Yeah, I got to run by and grab a jersey, grab my Falcons jersey.
What if it's
There you go.
What if it's an obscure team that no one's ever heard of? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to play on this flag football team, the Flamingos.
Yeah.
If I wore
Everybody knows about
if I wore my flag football jersey from the Flamingos from 2008,
Yeah,
will that count?
I think that would be fine.
All right.
I don't think they're
I think
getting
you
it.
have
Hold
to.
on. Is that Mitchell and Ness? I don't know. I don't think they're doing that.
What is from a jersey from a player that
Oh,
frowned
yeah.
upon, like
Oh,
O.J. Simpson?
Oh, my God.
Oh yeah, like O.J.'s old jersey. Like, it could be anything.
There's a couple
Oh,
of
God. I would probably suggest against wearing that, but you do you.
All right.
Aaron Hernandez. That'd be a bad one.
Oh yeah, that was
real
bad.
bad one.
That one's proven.
Yeah.
The other one.
So Skylar, is there any other big sales coming up that our listeners should know
Or
about?
holidays normally, because you
yeah.
guys love the holidays.
Yep. So holidays are always really important. Obviously, we do have a True Clear promo going on today. So you get 2 for $75. And then we obviously have our ground flour, our regular flour. So you get 20% off, which I don't think that I mentioned that before, but it's a 2-day sale. So it's on $43 and $53 True Flour strains. So you get 20% off of those. Which is a good amount of money, because on a $43 one, you get $8 off, right?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
So Skylar,
150%.
I know you don't know all the analytics of sales, but from obviously working at True Leaf and just knowing the higher ups and knowing the business, are people still as much into the flour? What's the ratio you would say, just off the top of your head, of flour opposed to vaping and edibles and all that?
Oh my gosh. So flour is always sold. I'm actually trying to look right now for y'all. So it's over 51% of people in Florida are buying flour.
Really?
And then it goes down to oil, which is 40%. Yeah. So majority of the people are still buying flour. They obviously are buying oils, and the oils can be anything from a vape cart to a tincture. So all of that is technically classified as oil.
Skylar, do you think
I would
that's?
have never guessed flour. It's still like, but I mean, I guess,
thought it was a less popular
Oh, yeah.
one.
But it's I hear it like it's obviously the most natural, right? And
Exactly.
it's it's kind of got that plant. It's untouched plant.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, it got hundreds of years of marketing too, because
Yeah.
that's how people
That's
consume
exactly.
THC for so long.
Exactly.
Like, and some people are just more comfortable consuming it and smoking flower. Obviously,
Exactly.
especially if you're older and that's what you always have done.
Yeah, some of the
then,
other stuff can sound intimidating or weird or
Although, do you think, Skylar, I'm sure internally you've had discussions, do you think that's going to phase out as the younger generations get older? Like, obviously, in 25 years, do you think flower will still be sold? I mean, obviously, who knows in that amount of time, but it seems like the younger generations will prefer the vaping and the edibles, and like flower will be a thing of the past.
So honestly, that's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, I have friends that prefer using flower over like vape cards,
Yeah.
but I think that it's easier for a lot of people to be able to use a vape cart when they're out, right? Not that I'm saying that people should be using
Sure.
products while they're out in public, but I think that, if you're even at a friend's party or at a friend's house or whatever, like you're not just going to whip out your bowl and start smoking or your blunt or whatever it may be, and it's easier to have that vape cart. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely think you're always going to have those people that are going to be 100% flower users, but we could see a shift, especially in, Gen Z, millennial generations. So possibly, 20 years, hopefully it's federally regulated.
It's hard.
But
You're at a
then-
Christmas party. It's hard. You're in there. I got a blunt that's the size of a baby's
Yeah.
arm. I got a blunt the size of a
Exactly.
baby's arm. I'm trying to smoke it. Then a big blob of ash drops down, and it gets on one of those novelty Santa Claus embroidered hand towels. I set the whole bathroom on fire.
I wonder if it's like about the experience and the overall like all
to
that comes with
Break it up,
Yeah.
twist it, put it in the paper.
Yeah.
because like
yeah, so the smell of it was like a big thing for people, right? It's like they love that smell of flower, where like with a vape cart, you don't really get that. So possibly,
But I
it
wonder
could be just that they
I wonder if
the
people will
atmosphere
eventually.
that cannabis.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll get to a point where they'll be like, it'll take over and they'll be like, I got the new cart and I thread the 510 on the new battery.
oh yeah, like that'll be the new
Yeah, I wonder if-
ritual.
If
Yeah.
that's like the new ritual.
Possibly.
Yeah. I'll-
It could. I don't know. Time will only tell. And like I said, hopefully in 20 years, it better be federally regulated. Then we don't even have to worry about hiding using cannabis out in public.
You know
Yeah.
I'm
You're
wrong.
smoking cigarettes.
I'm absolutely wrong. So this right here, well, what I have right here, I won't put it on camera, but this is a True Leaf product right here. It is.
Yeah.
It is a hybrid vape cart. That to me is kind of like new old man. Because
Okay.
what I think the kids are doing is they're using the concentrates and the dab rigs and all that kind of blowtorch business.
Yeah.
That's what the kids are doing, right? It's already moved on. It's funny because you asked that question. I was really trying to answer you, like, where's it going to go? What's it going to do? I think it already is. It's like your purists
Yeah.
and your old schoolers love the flower, and this is like those guys trying to be a little digital. They're like, well, vape cart's okay.
And I'm curious too.
Concentrate.
Like, and I'm just relating this to myself because I don't vape or smoke. I only do
You only
edibles.
jewel, right? You jewel.
No.
This guy's 6 to 7 jewel pods a day.
Like the way the THC goes into my body is through my stomach and liver, never through my lungs.
Don't say it like that.
I'm
That's
saying-
gross.
Got it.
no, well, and that's how I always prefer it. I've vaped before. I've smoked
I won't
before.
tell you how mine goes.
Have you seen that where either someone's just an edible person or a vaping and smoking
Oh,
person?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my best friends, she actually only uses edibles. She doesn't use any sort of other product.
Yeah,
I
that's
use
like me
every
too.
product and can't stop, won't stop.
But is it like there's a difference in the way it makes you feel, and I prefer ingesting it
I mean,
as
I
opposed to
guess.
smoking it.
How do you feel anything when you can't feel anything?
Yeah. Like,
That's true.
And
True.
I bet, and so it seems like the people that are into smoking are just into smoking or vaping, and the edible people are just in the edible, and there's very few that go back and forth.
And I think they should all get online and fight about which is better.
No, it's like you prefer one or the other. Who cares? But it's like you like. I don't meet too many people that do both a lot, right? Except for Danny over here.
Honestly, I would agree with you. I don't think I have met someone who is like, I love edibles and I love smoking flower. I've met people who enjoy smoking flower more, but also do edibles. Right?
Yeah,
I'm more along that lines. Yeah, I'm more along the lines of I prefer the vape, but pill form is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it just depends on what your preference is and what makes you. So, like, you like to use something that's going to break down in your liver because your onset time isn't as fast, but it lasts longer. So you don't have to smoke a joint or smoke a vape cart every 3 to 4 hours to get that relief. Your relief usually can last 6 to 8 hours, right?
Yeah, I think you're freaking out in the bathroom with TGI Fridays. I'm like, I got to get out of here without my family seeing.
Man, it makes such a difference of what you eat and how your body processes it. Because sometimes I'll be like, oh, my tolerance went up, and I don't get as high anymore. And then all of a sudden, the same amount, 10 milligrams. Like, you know, like I'll eat one of the sativa gummies from True Leaf. I think it's the blackberry one. It's
those are tasty.
And then I'll take them, nothing. Like, it'll just be good, mellow, and then sometimes it'll be like boom, and like blow my sandals off, and I'm like, why such a difference?
You eat some fat in there.
Yeah, but
you know what I like to do? I like to take a 50 milligram indica pill, right?
Yeah.
I take that. I walk into the kitchen. I go and I grab a big bottle of canola oil. And I take, and then look, I'm not a doctor, but I take 1 to 2 big cholesterol swings, and then cacao to the moon, Alice.
Just wrap it in cheese like a dog, and then it'll work too.
Yeah, that'll work too.
I call it the Isley. So, Skylar, I want to talk to you about a question that a listener sent. This person's a big fan of True Leaf and a fan of the business, and knows you guys are expanding, and they want to know if True Leaf is going to, in your knowledge, go public. This person wants to invest into your company, into True Leaf, and you can't do that until it becomes federally legal, right? Or like those laws have to change, right?
No, we're on the stock market.
Oh, okay. So you guys can be traded right now.
Yeah, that's what Norm was saying. I was waiting to see what he was saying. Yeah, they're already public.
Yeah, we're already publicly traded, so they can go on, and they just can type in, like, I think our thing is TNT, maybe.
TNT, that's fantastic. How'd you get that one? That's like the best vanity number. I wanted 1-844-6969 for Tom and Dad.
I know, right? It's TCNNF.
Okay, TCNNF
is our stock. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Now you can invest now, and then when it does become federally legal, maybe that will make your stock price go up.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, this person definitely wanted to invest in a True Leaf.
I wouldn't, though, based on the amount of knowledge they already have of the stock market. I would because they basically
the fact that they
when you go in public, True Leaf, because I want to give me some marijuana money.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, the fact that you didn't even look into
that's
it.
a bad sign.
Yeah, you wrote us an email. I can't even read it. It's too long. Can't read. So I just got the gist and I asked you the question. They wrote this long email. They didn't even look at one simple Google
That's a
search.
bad sign.
I mean, somebody have to just go to Google and look up. Is True Leaf a publicly traded company?
Yeah, just type in True Leaf stock and you'll.
Try.
That's literally what I googled to get our number, to get our name.
Hold on.
When did they write that email, though?
Oh, this says 2016 on it. I'm sorry, Skylar. I'm joking.
Oh,
June 7th.
Yeah, I'm joking.
We literally opened in 2016.
Yeah. So
That's why.
Yeah.
It says it is traded on the Canadian Securities Exchange. That's the first
Correct.
thing that popped
and then
up
we
here.
got approval, I think, to go to the U.S., but I think that there's like it takes a while for that to happen, to my knowledge. I don't really know too much about the
Oh, so
stock
this
market.
guy might be right.
Oh yeah. I think he is right because I think it does say I
They
know.
do say something about Canada.
Oh yeah, it says I know they're traded on the Canadian.
Well, then
Post.
now I put it on you
Now,
because you
hold
didn't read
on.
the whole email.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The Canada Stock Exchange.
What is that?
What, a bunch of maple
Edibles.
syrup,
Wow.
Get him, Tom.
French fries and gravy.
I'm French fries.
Oh, why am I gravy?
You know why.
Oh.
You know why.
Sorry, Skylar. All right. So, anything else going on in the True Leave world we should know about?
No, I mean, I think the biggest thing is to know, about our Touchdown Tuesday. Definitely sign up for our subscription for our text alerts and or email, just so you can stay in the loop because we always have stuff going on. We have our expungement clinics going on right now, which I don't know if I talked to you guys about this the last time we chatted, but the applications end on Friday, so you can find the link on our website to sign up. We have, I think we have 340 people that applied, which is great. And we would love to help as many people as possible, so we're going to leave those open. And then the clinics will be hosted next week virtually, so you can be in any part of the state to be able to participate. It is tricky, and it's, state of Florida laws as far as, who is eligible and who's not. We are not putting a barrier on who is eligible. That's the state of Florida. And so that gets kind of tricky. But we have that, so that's really exciting. We're hoping to help at least 250 people. Everything is paid for. Your court costs, legal fees, your fingerprints, everything. So if anyone knows of anyone, we have that going on till Friday.
I had this buddy in high school that he got pulled over and had a dime bag of regs. And it was like shake. It wasn't even a full dime bag. It was like shake.
It's like what you couldn't get out of the tiny baggie.
I think it was probably seeds and
Fell off the sides.
Yeah. And then he got I think it was even a written arrest back then, or it may have been a full arrest. Anyway, he had to go through community service, so many picking up trash on the road.
Oh my God.
And because and he was gonna go to college and things got delayed and he was supposed to start anyway, a huge pain in the ass that I remember he went through for some shake at the bottom of a dime bag in the late 90s. And I can imagine how mad he must be living in the world right now.
There's people locked up for years right now.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, especially the people in jail. It's insane. I'm just talking about my experience with this dude that was he wasn't he was going to college. He never had been in trouble, never got arrested.
It just happened.
And then this huge chunk of his life that was a nightmare for 9 months, and now is
the chat room might be lighting up with people going through it.
Yeah. It's cool that you guys do that, Skylar, because it is a shame that people lives have been ruined by the fact that you had a simple possession of THC or whatever, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, Skylar, we appreciate you calling in and everything you're doing at True Leave.
Of course.
And if anything, any new sales or anything, just let us know, and we'll tell our listeners.
Yeah, and enjoy your time off, and we look forward to talking to you real soon.
Yes, thank you.
All right, have fun. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that is our friend Skylar from True Leave.
Yeah, it's cool that they do the expungement deal, and getting stuff off your
I
record
don't like that word.
is a pain in the ass.
Why can't they just say it they need a better word than that? I don't like expungement.
Dude,
Right?
I'm fine with it.
I don't like it. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, it should just be clear,
Yeah.
clearing your record.
Yeah, clear my
A
record.
sponge.
A sponge makes me think of spermicidal sponge or is SpongeBob jail pants or something. I don't know. My mind starts going weird, and I hear expungement. I'm like, well, what does that mean? That doesn't mean clear my record. That doesn't mean wrongfully accused or
It's just delete the record.
yeah,
right?
just delete the record.
Yeah. Expungement.
Expungement makes it. What are you doing?
Because I'm like, are you getting it all out? Or are you sponging it a little?
It's too spongy.
Yeah, because
it sounds soft. I don't want it. I want a hard line in the sand drawn of me getting my life back.
Yeah. Because I've told you guys with the Grizz story about him going, it ruining basically his. It didn't ruin it because he still went through it. But there was a lot of things in the Air Force he couldn't get approved for because he had that boating ticket that someone accidentally
They could hold you back, yeah.
They put in a felony arrest for a $30 driving without a boating license ticket that we got in college, right? And it was entered wrong. It was entered as a felony. And so he spent years trying to get it off his record or whatever. Expunged. And then finally he got a lawyer down in Naples. And the lawyer went through the process or whatever, and they were able to change it.
I'm sponging it.
And instead, they changed it from a felony to a misdemeanor, but for trapping endangered species.
Right.
And then, so now he's got that on his record for trapping endangered species, which was
It's not a felony anymore. It's just a misdemeanor with felony tendencies.
And just because it was entered wrong as a clerical error, and then it was such a pain in the ass to even get the first one changed that he just gave up and said, "Screw
Look
it."
at that, the government messed something up.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. So now he's just got to live his life with. Anytime someone looks at his record, they're like, "You trapped endangered
This
species."
piece of crap.
There's been
Which is worse than the felony.
Right.
There's been
Because at least the felony arrest didn't say what it was for.
There's some sort of a mistake between my name and my father's name, and I don't know if you've ever dealt with this before.
Oh yeah, I had stuff on my credit report. Or something.
And it still pops up, and it's so funny because my dad's been deceased for quite some time, but occasionally things will either pop up or it's a new mistake where they just flip my middle initial to an R. And then it goes haywire because now we have the same name.
Oh yeah.
And then it's the same, or one city close or still Florida, and then it just starts building the confusion from there.
Dude, clerical errors. I mean, you remember what I went through with my grandfather and his
God.
estate and stuff
That was
like
a
that.
mess.
That was 3 years of
I just
a
finished
mess.
with my mom's stuff, and that was pretty clean.
Yeah. Because there's no clerical error that some,
No clerical
random-
errors, but it still took a year.
Oh yeah,
to get my mom's stuff done. It's like I can only imagine. Like you had issues, and it was just like and things that they had, and old documents that you were having to find on microfilm.
Yeah.
You're like you're in the library down the basement.
Well, I could talk about it now. It's like they forgot to separate my grandfather's property back in the 60s through like on the right paperwork from my grandmother and him after they got a divorce, right? So they split the property they bought and then gave her half and him half in the divorce, but they never took her name off of his half.
So and then she was gone, and there's no.
She passed away a while. 55 years later, 60 years later, I go and try to take care of his affairs, and your grandma's name is on this property.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God. And then trying to find us. And then my wife went down to Miami and was searching through microfiche. And then we paid a lawyer to do it. And they finally found the document that it said on and then they went to it. It was the wrong one. Like someone put the wrong from another case in there. And then I'm like, oh, man.
It should be here. Nope, not there.
Yeah, and then that's it. And then you had to go through this huge, drawn out, $10,000 in lawyer fees and stuff just because of someone put put the name here. Like some simple mistake, huge.
It's crazy.
People go through that all the time with their livelihoods and personal, some tiny mistake that someone made that's causing some nightmare issue for you, and who knows how many.
Well, that's why you and I really liked all the work that iDignity was doing here in town, where something is just as simple as not having an identification card or a driver's license, can ruin your life.
Dude, if I didn't
keep you held down,
right.
If I didn't have the money to have lawyers go through and go through the
what
proper,
you would have done, man.
It would have been.
It would have went to probate, probably.
No, it did go through probate, but
they would probably went to the state, right?
How would you have figured that out? I don't even know if you could have.
It would have had to been, then they would have tracked down her, because technically it would have been like half of my grandma's property, and any one of her
relatives
would be linked to it, so they would have some sort of
it'd been more waiting periods too. They'd have to Don't they do that thing where we have to run an article in the paper and then say it, and then they do that thing?
Also,
remember that old thing?
I wonder if someone to be, okay, let's say this happened to you.
Make sure nobody claims it.
Because I would be, okay, say there was some sort of clerical error that someone, and some part of my relative did, and then they left it, or somehow it went from my dad and then to me, right? So someone put the wrong name on some sort of family will or something.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden they contacted me and they're like, well, because of a clerical error, you are you can get this $10,000 because based on the sale of the land, but your dad's, or maybe your, like, my pop-pop's name should have never been on that. It was a mistake made in the 60s or whatever. I would just give that money to whoever does. I wouldn't take it.
I want to do my grandma's wishes, and she would want me to have that $10,000.
No, but it wasn't your grandma's way. It was a clerical error.
No, you don't know that.
Well, they don't know that. You do know.
No.
You know, you can't take the money, right? Or do you just take it?
I definitely think you can.
Legally you can, but you shouldn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the correct
You
play.
should do the right thing and be like, no, whoever the family members.
And I think most people would do the right thing, but there's that one guy out there that would be like, no. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. It was their mistake. I'm taking it.
You know who that person is? That's just a grown-up version of the man or woman who sees the kid go running to catch the baseball. And you run over, you push him out of the way, and you catch the baseball, and then you don't give it to him. You go and you sit quietly in your seat. That's what that person is.
It's the fan that catches the baseball, like you said.
Yeah, and the kid comes over, and you're just like, it's mine. Get out of here, kid.
Snooze, you lose.
They're reaching their glove up, and then you grab it, and then you're showing your wife.
I'm an adult. I got this. This is meaningless to me. It means nothing to me. I'm an adult.
You're 38 years old, and some 6-year-old had his
kid has
glove.
nothing. Like, you actually can make decisions. Like, I can eat any type of food I want for dinner. I still have the baseball.
Yeah.
You know, like,
who does that?
Why would you do that?
What kind of D-head?
You're a terrible person.
Oh, yeah, there are.
But there is that one guy, and I'm fascinated
there's lots
with these
of people like that.
There's that one guy that would be, his name is on there incorrectly, clerical error, and yes, he's going to inherit $10,000 to the van grandpa, and he's like, yeah, a happy accident. Sucks to be you. I get that $10K.
Yeah. It's the guy that littered in the Publix parking lot. Like that guy.
Oh, he's a bad man.
Well,
I'd be like, oh, happy accident. This is great.
That personality of you're a narcissist and no one matters but you.
But there's people
God,
are
it's
miserable,
so bad.
right? That's not enough for me.
No, they're not. Dude,
I think they are.
That's what we say to try
make
to
ourselves feel better.
Yes. The narcissists are not miserable. They think they're awesome, and they think that other people think they're awesome, which is the most insane part because nobody likes them. Like,
ooh, man.
I'm thinking of a person no one knows here, but they're like one of the biggest narcissists. No, none of my friends.
Me.
But
is it me?
No. This person, the stuff he does is so egregiously narcissistic that it's the douchiest. Like, the way he treats people is just so, like, the person's a bad person. And me and Crystal constantly talk about how, she's like, he has to know other people hate him. I'm like, no. He's such a narcissist that he either blocks it out or lives in an alternative reality where he thinks other people like him. He's that much of a narcissist.
There is an element of, like, narcissistic compartmentalization where they can almost, like you said, perfectly said, like, it's almost you've created your own simulation to walk through where...
And they don't care. Like, they almost don't care. But even the people that do care about, because I've said that too. I was like, do they just not care about anybody like him? And I'm like, no. I think the people that they want to like them, they think they do, and maybe they do.
So it's only it's only one-sided.
I don't know, but I'm like, how does this person go through life acting like this? And I'm constantly befuddled by the fact that they're such a D-head and they treat people so poorly. And it never occurs to them that
no
you shouldn't
ounce
act
of
like
self-awareness.
This. Yeah, like maybe
it's not even other people calling you out. It's like you calling you out, right?
I don't know. It's a horrible way to be.
We got a choice here. We can keep rolling, or we can take a break.
Well, it's up to Daddy Plants over there.
Yeah,
If he wants to go Facebook Live in a group, we should probably call it.
All right, we'll take a
bye-bye.
break.